And we welcome you to Brooks Stadium here on the campus of Coastal Carolina University. A warm and humid night tonight here for football. We are just about 10 minutes away from the beautiful beaches of Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. Sunbelt action tonight between the Georgia State Panthers and the Chanticleers of Coastal Carolina. And welcome up to the booth, everybody, alongside former Penn State and 12-year NFL defensive end Tyoka Jackson. I'm Jeff McCarriger. All right, Tyoka, when we look at these two teams, both of them surprisingly just one win apiece. But tonight's storylines are going to be really dominated by a bunch of firsts tonight here in this contest.
Yeah, a lot of firsts. It's the first ever game between Coastal Carolina and Georgia State. It's the first Sun Belt Conference game of the year for Georgia State, and it's the first Sun Belt Conference home game ever for Coastal Carolina. But when you put all that good backstory aside, you still have two hungry teams searching for a win, hunting for a win. Let's see who eats big tonight.
All right, let's break this one down, Tyoka. And we talked to both the coaches during the week, and they really put the emphasis on wanting to run the football. However, watching both these squads, it really could be dominated tonight by the wide receivers.
Yeah, we got two big-time wideouts in this game tonight. CCU junior Malcolm Williams was downright uncoverable versus Louisiana Monroe. 9 catches for 266 yards and 2 touchdowns. That's a season for some players in this offense, and the Panthers team has arguably the best wide receiver in the Sun Belt Conference. His name is Penny Hart. Hart put up 11 catches for $141 and a touchdown. Look, these two teams love to run the football, and they make no apologies about that. But if you start crowding the box and cheating, looking in the backfield, trying to stop this run, these two guys will burn you in a heartbeat. They can throw the ball too now.
Again, Sunbelt matchup tonight. First ever meeting between these two schools on a warm night, family weekend. They're expecting a near capacity crowd tonight here from Conway, South Carolina. Panthers and the Chanticleers. Kickoff comes your way next. Back at Brooks Stadium again, a warm and humid night for some college football. Temperature right near 80 degrees. A lot of humidity tonight. Again, we're just about 10 or 15 minutes away from the beautiful coast here of South Carolina. We're in Conway, South Carolina. The Panthers of Georgia State, 1-2 on the season. Talked about some first, Tyoka. This is another first. Sean Elliott, his first season as head coach for the Panthers, spent 7 seasons as the co-offensive coordinator and offensive line coach at South Carolina, part of some really good teams for the Gamecocks.
Absolutely. He knows how to win, too. Winning is the same on all levels as long as you get the players.
And on the other side, the interim head coach, Jamie Chadwell. And really, for Jamie, he was a former head coach for Charleston Southern, did a terrific job. He was a 3-time Big South Coach of the Year, and all of a sudden finds himself in a head coaching spot. Joe Mogley, in his 6th season as the head coach, took a 5-year medical sabbatical, and we actually just heard from him up on the Jumbotron. Everything is fine with Mogley. He'll be back at the end of the season, but what a job that Jamie all of a sudden has had to inherit here in Coastal Carolina.
Yeah, not sure he signed up for that. He's got to make sure he's a CEO, but also have these play calls ready to roll on offenses and offensive coordinators. He's doing dual job here, but that's what was needed. He's stepping up and getting it done, and I respect him for doing it well every single week.
Coastal Carolina 1-3 again. The Panthers 1-2. Both teams trying to turn their seasons around, and we are underway after the kickoff by Masamitsu Ishibashi. Coming back the other way, Glenn Smith finds room down the left sideline. One man to beat. Stays on his feet. Inbounds. No flags. Touchdown.
How about that to open the game? You get one missed tackle, you get a bunch of guys out of their lanes, and obviously he knows exactly what to do with the football when you don't tackle him early.
Glenn Smith, the senior from Warner Robins, Georgia, takes it to the house, and what a start for Georgia State.
Now, he probably expected to score a touchdown. He's a starting running back, but I'm not sure he thought he'd take the opening kickoff back for a touchdown. It doesn't get any better than that to start a football game, obviously.
Especially being on the road. And the extra point is good, and a 7-0 lead for Georgia State just seconds into the game. 90 yards. Here it is again, Tyoka.
One missed tackle generally is all it takes. And you see all the guys bunch up and lose their lane integrity. And when you do that against a guy with some speed, and Smith, he can bounce it outside and becomes a foot race. And if you're running against the kicker, you're going to beat the kicker 9 times out of 10. And if you don't, you're going to hear about it. So no saying there, and the kicker missing the tackle, but excellent job of opening the game with a huge play to get out in front on the road for Georgia State.
Boy, Taoki, you talk about a versatile player. This guy does it all. Keep in mind, he was actually a wide receiver converted to running back. Now he's returning kickoffs and going 90 yards the other way for an opening touchdown here for the Panthers.
Well, he came in third all-time in Georgia State history in all-purpose yards. Obviously, those numbers go up. He came in with 2,241. That goes up by 90. So now he's obviously going to move up that list, but he's a big part of what they do. They throw it to him. They let him return kicks. He runs the football. That's a guy who gets it done in all levels of the offense.
What a way to start this game. So now Barry Brown will kick off for Georgia State. And for Coastal, they'll have a shot at a return. Out past the 20-yard line. Now we'll see Coastal Carolina's offense out of the field for the first time as Kyon Tyler, the sophomore from Sumter, brings it out just beyond the 20-yard line. And for Coastal Carolina, they will be led by their senior quarterback, Tyler Keene. And, you know, he's a guy we've looked at him a lot this week, Taoka. There you see his first 3 games, just 238 yards passing. But last week, 329 yards passing, 4 touchdowns. What a game against University of Louisiana Monroe. Yeah, Monroe's decided they were not going to let them run the football, and give credit to Keene and this offense completely changing what they do through the football and almost came out with a win. And to the air on first down, out to the 30-yard line. Catch is made by Omar Black, the junior from Marietta, Georgia. So good pickup on the first offensive play for Coastal Carolina. Ends up in a first down. No surprise there. You move the change on a reception by Black. He's averaging over 10 yards a catch. So every time he catches the ball, he usually moves those chains. 6'2", 205 pounds. Pretty big and good sized wide out there. And actually, you see into the game, Dalton Demos. We'll see 2 quarterbacks pretty much all night tonight here for Coastal Carolina. We'll pitch out to the right side, and a good pickup again for Coastal as the pitch goes to Osha Abercrombie. He's a senior from Greenwood, South Carolina, out of Emerald High School. But again, going back to the quarterback situation, we're talking about Tyler Keene. He's 5'9", 200 pounds. He's a local kid here from Myrtle Beach. More of the passing quarterback for Coastal Carolina. Dalton Demos is a kid who can pass and also can run a lot as well, and good size. Yeah, we'll see both quarterbacks. They have a package for Demos. When he comes in the game, it's a little bit different offense that they run. Because he gets involved, like you said, with his legs. So we'll see both tonight. Fakes the handoff. He'll keep it himself. Gets across the 40-yard line. And right at the first down marker, we'll see if he got enough. It looks like he might have just enough for another first down. So if this is your first time seeing Coastal, they're going to run the spread option. They're going to spread you out and try to create natural running lanes with the formation. But they really want to run the football like we talked about before. And they want to hit those seams that they create in space with the formation. So they want to run it with either RPOs, run pass options, or read option, or even straight real option where the quarterback's going to keep it and read the end man on the line of scrimmage. Again, here's Tyler Keene now back in the game. Again, the senior from Myrtle Beach High School. They're a local product. And a handoff, another good pickup on first down. And, you know, for Coastal Carolina, really getting it done here on first down so far. Osha Abercrombie again with the carry. Osha just 51 yards on 13 carries last week, but boy, he got off to a good start this season. And the season opener for Coastal Carolina against UMass, he rushed for almost 150 yards. What I like about Abercrombie, he comes in with a 5.5 career average. That's getting it done. Second down and 6. Keene looking to pass across the middle. And it is caught at the 40-yard line. Another good catch by Omar Black. What I like about that, Keene slid within the pocket. You can be a mobile quarterback without having to run the football, Jeff. As long as you can feel the pressure and keep his eyes downfield. Look at him. See how his eyes are staying downfield as he feels the pressure. Slides over to the void in the pocket, keeps his eyes downfield, throws a very catchable ball to the wide open man. Good quarterback play right there. A little bit of a low throw, but good catch by Omar Black. Again, the junior from Marietta, Georgia. He had 3 catches last week, 42 yards. And Keene will keep it. He finds room, cuts it back inside, gets inside the 30. Very cool motion in the backfield. You can see it all day. Again, we talked about the spread, creating lanes. It gets guys out of their box. You have to walk out to those receivers to keep them covered, because if you don't, they're going to throw the football like they did against Monroe. So you go out and cover, you have less guys in the box. There's going to be seams for the quarterback. As long as he's making the right decision, whether to pitch or whether to keep,
it's the right decision. Now, if you're on defense, this is assignment football. There's a guy for the quarterback, there's a guy for the dive, and there's a guy for the pitch. If you're late, they will exploit you.
Another first down for the Panthers. Screen pass. Open man is Malcolm Williams. And he will get down inside the 25-yard line. And Malcolm Williams, one of their wide receivers that we mentioned right off the bat tonight, 266 yards receiving last week. Set a school single-game record on just 9 catches.
That's not a typo. I mean, that's real yardage in one game. That is absolutely sick. The guy can play.
Second largest game in Sunbelt history. Tyler Keene working the Chanticleers down the field on 2nd down and 3. Fakes the handoff and fires again down complete inside the 15-yard line. And staying on his feet is Maxwell Josa, one of the tight ends who Keene also likes to go to. Josa, another local kid out of Myrtle Beach.
Now that's interesting because Josa usually catches just touchdowns. I mean, right? He and the backup tight end, LaQuay Brown, have combined for 4 touchdowns on 4 catches. So, I mean, usually that's usually for 7 for him. But, again, what I like is the accuracy from the quarterback Keene and the coolness in the pocket. Really good job of looking downfield and getting it done. Ball coming out on time and on target.
Coastal trying to answer. Demos back into the game and a handoff up the middle. Inside the 5 is Abercrombie.
Also, we saw the play before, a missed tackle in space. That was something that the coaches for Georgia State talked about. We're going to have to make tackles in space just because of the way this offense works. They put you in position where you have to make one-on-one tackles. So you're going to see this all night, and that will decide ultimately if Georgia State wins this game.
How tired is this Georgia State defense now? This is a quick start, a fast-moving offense.
And it's in humid weather. And I don't care if they're in Georgia or not, humidity will get to you early.
2nd and goal for Coastal Carolina. Handoff again to Abercrombie, and great job by the defensive front for Georgia State. We've got a front 3 of Arterius Allen, Julian Laurent, Terry Thomas, James Traylor. They've got a couple really good linebackers as well.
They do. And number 2, Ed Kearney got the start today over Trey Payne. Now he's come in and he's going to try to make his impression on this game. He's a backup linebacker who can play, but what you see now is there's an Achilles heel to running the spread option, and that's inside the red zone. When there's less field to work with, you get packed in and you can't threaten vertically as you could in the middle of the field. That's where not having a true fullback, not having big-time blocking tight ends comes back to hurt you. And we'll see what happens on this money down 3rd down.
3rd and goal now for Coastal. And a pitch play. Trying to find room on the outside was Alex James, the redshirt freshman, and good pursuit again by the Panthers D. Now 4th and goal.
James Traylor, we talked about the one-on-one infield, open field tackle. That's what it's going to be about all day. There's a guy for the quarterback, there's a guy for the dive, and there's a guy for the pitch. Now, just because you have the assignment doesn't mean you're going to make the play. You got to go ahead and make the tackle, and that's exactly what James Traylor did there.
Evan Rabin out of Florence, South Carolina, junior, out for the field goal attempt. 4 for 6 on the season. Good snap, good hold, but he pushes it right. So a long drive for Coastal Carolina, but it comes up empty. And for Georgia State, you talk about a defense that bends but doesn't break. What a stop.
That's like a kick in the gut when you miss that field goal. Kicker's got to come through for you.
What a start here from Conway, South Carolina. Georgia State with a 7-0 lead. If you are just tuning in, Glenn Smith with a long touchdown return for a quick touchdown. And now we'll see the Georgia State offense on the field. And how about Connor Manning and his journey? He's a redshirt senior now for the Panthers. He began his college career at Utah. And after going through a couple different systems in Utah, now has gone through 2 different systems here at Georgia State. But he's really found a home here for the Panthers. And you know, we were talking with Travis Trickett, the offensive coordinator, and the trust and the relationship that he now has with Connor Manning. It sounds like everything's just really working for this offense this year.
Yeah, he's played for a lot of different guys, but he's developed a nice working relationship with Trickett. Trickett says he throws a very catchable ball.
There's Penny Hartz, one of the receivers you talked about in the open. He gets out past the 30-yard line. He is a dangerous player.
Now, do we have a flag now? A lot of whistles. Okay, no flag. So, listen. We talked to the defensive coordinator at Coastal, Mickey Matthews, and they said they're going to have something special for 18. If they see that they can't play him traditionally and conventionally, they're going to start sliding, moving coverage over. I suggest they do that early and try to make somebody else beat him.
Hart in motion. And he'll go to the ground for the first time. Out across the 35-yard line. Glenn Smith on the carry, picks up about 3 or 4 yards on first down. And again, if you're just tuning in, it was Glenn Smith with the 90-yard opening kickoff return to give us a 7-0 lead. And there you see Glenn Smith again.
He rushed for 90 yards at Charlotte. He got that in one play on opening kickoff. Yes. And you know he's got some speed because he's a converted wide receiver. So, I mean, the guy can run, as absolutely you saw.
Wide receiver, played running back last week, and returning kickoffs this week. Manning back to pass with time and had a man wide open across the middle and just led him a little bit too much. That was Todd Boyd, senior wide receiver out of Moultrie, Georgia.
Now you know Connor is kicking himself on that. No pass rush to speak of. Has all day to throw the football, and you got a guy running wide open on a post route. Everything was perfect. The operation was a success, but the patient died because you missed a wide open player. You got to hit that.
And now a big third down here early for the Panthers on 3rd down and 7.
Keep an eye on number 3, Marcus Williamson. He's their big-time pass rusher for Coastal. He's got to come alive on 3rd down.
Manning steps up in the pocket and fires complete inside Coastal Carolina territory, and there is Penny Hart again.
They're going to have to do something. I mean, I see where the ball's going. This guy's a big-time football player. Had a great true freshman year and then came back, got injured. And he's picking up right where he left off 2 years ago. He will be a first-team Sun Belt player. Again, arguably the best receiver in the conference.
Well, you could just see the eyes of Connor Manning, too, on that last play. Just really good patience. Finds Hart again inside the 40. Down to the 34-yard line. Again, Penny Hart, redshirt sophomore from Buford, Georgia. 147 yards receiving against Charlotte in their last game. Sun Belt Freshman of the Year a couple of years ago. Also freshman All-American back in 2015.
What I like about that play was excellent blocking, perimeter blocking by the wide receivers. They know who their go-to guy is, but they're showing some really good unselfishness with some blocking on the outside to spring the guy.
Kyler Neal in at running back off to the right shoulder. And they give it to him as he punches his way down to the 32-yard line for a first down. Speaking of Penny Hart, 2015, just talking about his year. First team All-Sun Belt and also a freshman All-American. Then in 2016, after a really good start through a couple of games, Taioka, he suffered a broken foot, out for the year. And wow, they're happy to have him back now in this offense.
The way he's playing, that seems like ancient history, baby.
Manning fires it complete. And staying on his feet is Ari Wirtz, the tight end. His 7th reception of the year. Actually 5th on the team in receiving last year, so he's definitely a good target that Manning likes to go to. Really good size, 6'4", about 235, big kid.
Yeah, Mickey Matthews raved about him. The defensive coordinator at Coastal said this guy really jumps out on film. They just don't throw it to him very often. But he's a Mackey Ward, a watch list guy for a reason, and you saw he did not give up that play. He was wrapped up, ran through the tackle, and got a big first down.
Just inside the 20-yard line, Georgia State returned the opening kickoff, and now marching on offense. It looks like Georgia State's going to have to call a timeout. And we will take a break with them with 5:23 to play in the first quarter, just underway from Conway, South Carolina. Back here at Conway, South Carolina, a 7-0 lead for the Panthers of Georgia State. Both these teams a critical week 6, both of them with just one win apiece as we get back to action. Georgia State moving the ball quickly on 1st and 10 from inside Coastal's 20-yard line. And a handoff on first down that will go nowhere as Coastal gets a little bit of pressure defense up front. Well, you know, Taioka, something you mentioned right away off the outset of this broadcast was the threat of Penny Hart. And you even called it. You said, listen, you got to double team this guy right away. He already has 3 catches for 42 yards.
Studying this team and his offense on film, it was clear to me that Sean DeClears must identify him and consider double teaming him all game. Why not? Make somebody else prove that they can beat you. I already been proved. You got it. Okay, Penny, I know you can beat me. Let's find somebody else.
They swing it out to Smith. Jumps his way inside the 10-yard line. Boy, two really good playmakers. We've talked about Penny Hart a lot, and of course Glenn Smith off to a hot start with the kickoff return. A catch, a couple of rushes, and now Glenn Smith out of the game. We'll see if Penny Hart comes back in on 3rd and short.
And let's not forget about Wirtz. I like Wirtz. This is the first time I've seen him live. He's a good-looking tight end, but it's still, I'm still taking Hart out of the game. I want those guys to try to do it for 4 quarters and prove it to me, because we just haven't seen it all year. It's been the Penny Hart show so far for Georgia State in 2017.
3rd and short, and 18 is back in the game for the Panthers. Set up in the slot to the left. The Panthers will hand it off as Kyler Neal bangs his way inside the 10. Kyler Neal, one of the backup running backs, redshirt senior from Dallas, Georgia.
And I like the call from Travis Trickett. Why? Because you have to be a base nickel team on defense against this Georgia State team. Coastal Carolina wants to be a 4-3, but they got to play nickel because of this spread offense that you're seeing on the inside of the 20-yard line. That gives really running lane. So I like to call it, try to run the football to take advantage of that, because they're in nickel.
1st and goal for Georgia State. Penny Hart in motion. They flip it to him on the jet sweep around the left side and in. Penny Hart with the touchdown.
I believe, Jeff, I believe you can beat us. I know you can. Find a way to get 18 corralled. You're going to see the motion, the jet sweep, push pass. That is a pass. That is not a run. And the blocking on the perimeter is stellar.
And with his speed, easily able to get to the outside.
Got to set an edge there. Someone has got to get upfield and turn that ball back. You give Penny Hart or any other good football player a soft edge, he's going to exploit it all day long.
And the kick is good. Penny Hart on the jet sweep with the touchdown, as Georgia State now takes a 14-0 lead. There's Hart with the speed and a 2-touchdown lead early here for the Panthers. Well, it is family weekend here in Conway, South Carolina, and the home crowd a little bit stunned as Georgia State is off to a 14-0 lead. They had the opening kickoff return by Glenn Smith, and then the offense came on the field. They went 11 plays, 80 yards. As Penny Hart capped it off on the touchdown catch on the jet sweep.
Penny Hart so early, and is anybody surprised? Really? I mean, he's got over 50 yards receiving in the first quarter, and we still got 325. He's on his way to another record-breaking game. They got to figure it out and get him stopped right now.
4 touches, 51 yards. Inside the 5 for Coastal Carolina. Ooh, and a big hit at the 22-yard line. And for the Chanticleers, good thing that Kyon Tyler was able to hang on to it.
So right now, if you're Coastal, don't need to panic. Right, you've shown on your first possession you can move the football. So let's just go back to doing what we were doing when it was 0-0. All right, you got to convince your kids that this is 0-0. Forget about it offensively. Now, defensively, they got some corrections. We don't do that now. But offensively, let's go back to moving the football. We moved it. We stalled in the red zone and missed the field goal. Fine. Let's go back and do exactly what we did on the first drive. Move the football, break quarterback play, and we'll score. That's what you're trying to convince you guys right now.
Tyler Keene in at quarterback. And we've already seen both quarterbacks hand off and some room up the middle. Strong run by Marcus Outlow, the redshirt junior. We see him for the first time. And again, part of this really 3-headed monster. And there's so many different players for Coastal Carolina. You got the tight end, Joseph. You got all the wide receivers we've talked about. 2 quarterbacks, 3 running backs. And there's Outlow again out of Norwich, Connecticut.
Outlow's got some juice. You see that quickness? Nice jump cut there and get upfield real quick. Really good acceleration. He's got a good combination of size and speed. The other guys, one guy's an inside, one guy's an outside. He's got a combination of both.
Pickup of 6 brings up 2nd down and 4. Fake the handoff. And a good tackle in the backfield. Terrific defensive stop. DeAndre Applin for for Georgia State with a big hit.
I need a quicker decision by King. You can't, this is Division I football. You can't be chopping your feet with the football in your hands. You got to go. He had to see him take it, young man. He's trying to make a big play on the outside, and that's what being down 14 can get in your mind and make you think I got to make a big play. No, forget about the scoreboard. Take what your keys are showing you. He could have got 5 to 8 yards straight ahead. He tried to bounce it outside, and it didn't work.
Demo stays in here for another play on 3rd down and short. Coming up on 2 minutes to go here in the first quarter. And Outlaw nowhere to go. Gets back to the original line of scrimmage, and that is it. Again, good defense. Brian Williams in on the stop for the Panthers.
A lot of good penetration up front, too. But we're seeing here early, that's where Coastal struggles on offense. Short yardage, goal line, red zone. They're not quite physical enough up front to move people. They need to formation and create it that way. That's why that indecision to play before by King really hurt him, because he could have picked up the first down.
Penny Hart back to receive for Georgia State.
Uh-oh.
And he is a weapon, as we've already seen. Ooh, lets this one roll instead of fielding it on a hop, but that's going to roll inside the 20, so good break here for Coastal Carolina at special teams.
Yeah, usually you like to see guys come up and field that. On average, if the ball hits the ground on punch, it's going to cost the offense 17 yards. That's about what it cost them there. But I understand that one. That was a little low, hot to handle. You don't need to give Coastal any reason to get excited right now. You got them down 14-0. Let that thing just go ahead and roll. We'll play offense. Clearly, playing offense has been good for Georgia State.
You totally read my mind. I was thinking the exact same thing. That thing was hot.
It was hot.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. From up here, do you want him to catch it? Yeah, you want to make the catch and see if you can at least get it maybe around the 25. Yeah. But you're right. That thing was coming in and tricky. Connor Manning back out there for the Georgia State offense with a 14-0 lead. Handoff to Neal on first down, squirts free and ends up picking up a couple yards there on first down.
I was just about to say I want to see the Chanticleer step up and play some good defense. Shane Johnson did a nice job of reading. They went power O there. They pulled the backside guard and tackle, trying to kick out and get a seam, and Mr. Johnson wasn't having any of it. He just didn't wrap up. That should have been a no gain there, or at least a 3-yard loss.
Bunch sets down at the bottom of your screen. They fired too hard out of his hands. That should be incomplete, and it is. Well, Coastal just searching for turnovers and big plays on defense. Believe it or not, for a defense that dominated the country in turnovers last year, Coastal Carolina, Tioka, no interceptions, and the coaches brought that up during our conference calls this week. I mean, they really want to try and come up with an interception this week.
They had 21 last year. That was 4th in all of Division I football. So they thrive on turnovers. Just hadn't happened for them. They scored 8 defensive touchdowns last year. That was second to only Alabama. That has not happened for them, and that's why their records right now is reflecting.
3rd down and 8, and it's complete to Hart again. Across the 40-yard line, they needed 8 and got a whole lot more as Penny Hart starting this game continues to just be dominant.
And right now they still continue to play him with one guy. And no disrespect to Dante Hears, but you got one of the best receivers in America one-on-one in space. They put him in the slot to give him a two-way go. You notice he stays in the slot a lot. He's a smaller guy. Put him in the slot. It's harder to double, and he's got a two-way go. And that he's just torching them right now.
They fake the handoff to Smith. And maybe back to the line of scrimmage for Connor Manning. And that will bring us to the end of the first quarter. Georgia State and Coastal Carolina, first meeting ever, and so far it is being dominated by the Panthers. Glenn Smith, 90 yards on the opening kickoff, and it's a 14-0 lead right now for the road team. At Brooks Stadium here in Conway, South Carolina, about 10 or 15 minutes drive from the beautiful coast of Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. First ever meeting between these two schools, and Georgia State has jumped out to a 14-0 lead. Well, Tioka, we talked obviously with Sean Elliott during the week, and he talked about how important time of possession was going to be, and there's a look at it so far.
Both teams want to possess the football. There's no question about that. The key is Georgia State is finishing their drives. That's the difference between the ball game right now, in the ball game right now, I should say. Georgia State's finishing, the Chanticleers have not finished their drives off.
Second down, firing across the middle and complete inside the 40-yard line. Manning once again finding Ari Wirtz, the junior tight end. What a target he is, 6'4", 235 out of Stone Mountain, Georgia.
I want to launch an investigation because we talked about Wirtz not getting the football on our conference calls. And what was happening? How did they know? Because they weren't throwing to this guy before this game. I'm just telling you right now. And we said Mickey Matthews, the defensive coordinator of the Chanticleers, said this guy is a big-time tight end. They just don't throw it to him. Well, they're throwing it to him right now, and he's making him pay. Like I said before, he's a Mackey Award-list guy for a reason. Very good football player. He's that new wide-out / tight end guy. Doesn't block great, but he can sure run routes and catch it.
Manning drops it, tries to recover, now sacked back inside their own territory. Dropped it for just a split second, and there is Marcus Williamson.
We talked about him. He's the guy that needs to heat it up on the pass rush. This is a coverage sack. When the quarterback has indecision, you got to be right there, and that's exactly where Williamson was. They need him to come alive because right now, Georgia State's in a rhythm. And not a whole lot of bad plays, not a whole lot of negative yardage right now. That's a big play for Williamson. Let's see if this gets this defense fired up. But it doesn't really matter if you don't cover number 18. And he looks to be single covered right now. That safety is starting to cheat over, though.
Brings up second down and 20, and again a fumbled snap as Manning this time jumps on it. And this is going to be third down and over 20 yards now for the Panthers.
If you're the home team, this is exactly what the doctor ordered. 2 negative plays to get Georgia State off schedule. Now it's 3rd and long. And number 3 needs to get cranked up again for a big-time pass rush. He'll have a one-on-one, talking about Marcus Williamson. He'll have a one-on-one coming from the offensive left. Let's see if he can heat it up again.
Make it 3rd down and 24 officially.
Looks like he's changing the play.
Watch out, number 18 to his left. Bottom of your screen. Looking that way, instead dumps it off to Smith and quickly cut down at the 45-yard line. And a big defensive stop for the Chanticleers just when they needed it.
Anthony Chesley. You want to run screens against man-to-man. They were playing zone on that play. And when you play zone defense, the ball's thrown in front of you, come up and make a tackle. Chesley put his foot in the ground, came up, beat the block, and made a big-time play in the backfield.
Well, you talk about all the interceptions you just mentioned. This team had 21 of them last year. Chesley had 2 of those. 4th down and 26. Low punt. And on a bounce, ends up at the 15-yard line and no return. Coastal Carolina with the ball when we come back, trying to get back into this one, down 2 touchdowns. Well, interim head coach Jamie Chadwell and his offense will take the field again. You know, we were talking with Jamie during the week, Tyoka, and he was very honest with us. I mean, he took over as interim head coach. He was the offensive coordinator, and he's in a position all of a sudden where he's calling the plays and trying to manage the game. You know, as a fan and as a broadcaster, sometimes we think, well, what's the big deal in that? Well, Jamie gave us many reasons why it's very, very difficult to do both during the game.
Yeah, chief among them was when the defense is on the field, he's usually making adjustments to OC, but he's got to stay in the ball game to make decisions when the defense is on the field.
On 1st down, they'll run it up the middle as they give it to Abercrombie. And a good pickup, about 6 or 7 yards. There's Jamie Chadwell. And again, yeah, he said, you know, it's difficult because you're so wrapped up in the play calling, you need someone to help you manage the game.
That's
manage
right.
the end of quarters, manage, you know, replays, all the stuff that's in the game now.
And the special teams coach will come to you and say, hey, you want to go for a block here? But if you were spending the last 5 minutes trying to figure out how to get the offense right, that can screw you all up. So it's not easy. It's tough. That's why you don't see it happen a lot of times. I think this is the key right here. They got to run the football. They got to get back to who they are. They are a spread option, running seams, running lanes, good decisions with the RPOs and good decisions with the option. This is who they are, and it looks like Keene is the guy to move the football. He's been successful. Stick with him right now, run the football, and then allow the defense to show you when it's time to pass.
Keene on that last play on the keeper picks up the 1st down. Coastal Carolina on the move up near the 30-yard line. On the pitch play here to the near sideline. And a good gain out near the 40-yard line as Malcolm Williams, again, he had a huge week last week of receiving. Picks up another first down for Coastal.
I like it. I like it. Because right now, you're getting the ball on the perimeter, and that's what this offense is all about. And if you're going to be late with your assignment, we talked about it earlier, if you're going to be late on your assignment with this option, they will make you pay. And that time you see two guys on the quarterback, no one on the pitch man. Continue to run the option, and let's see if Georgia State has got this thing figured out yet.
Another first down, so first down and 10. Keene stays in the game for now. Fakes the handoff. Throws completes out to Tyler and gets back to maybe the original line of scrimmage. Well, Tyler, I mean, that's something that you and I talked about when we were talking to the coaches during the week. And that's something that Coastal seems to be doing here on this drive. Force Georgia State's defense to have to make decisions.
Yeah.
I mean, like you've been talking about, because with Coastal you have so many weapons, all the wide receivers, the tight ends, the running backs, make Georgia State have to try and guess.
And they have a lot of sister plays, and by what I mean by that is plays that look very similar. That right there looked like it was going to be read option. It turned out to be a throw. And so what happens is you try to get these guys guessing. And when you start guessing as a defender, you're going to be wrong. You have to be able to read your keys and go. But they have key breakers. Let's start running these key breakers and see what happens.
Second down and 9. They fake the dive. It's complete now near the 50-yard line.
What a throw.
So Williams again on the catch. If you're just tuning in, Malcolm Williams, we mentioned him in the outset of the broadcast. Last week, all he did was catch 9 passes for 266 yards, which was second most in a single game in Sun Belt history.
Well, so far it's been a Penny Hart show, but they got their own guy too, and they're going to get Williams revved up. But what I like there, Tyler Keene threw that ball in a very small window, and he had to drive it and fire it in there, and that's exactly what he did. Anything high or fluttering would have been picked off.
First down and 10. Coastal on the move, down 14-0. Still plenty of time here in the second quarter. And he's got a man open, but it's dropped this time. Omar Black made a couple of catches back in the first quarter, but can't hang on to this one.
Tyler left it a little short, but you need your wide receivers to make tough catches, especially when you're down 14 at home. You're going to have to make some tough plays and tough catches as a wide receiver to keep the offense moving and keep them on schedule.
By the way, you're not the only star in the house tonight. I don't know if you know this.
Well, I'm not a very bright star. Don't call me a star.
D'Angelo Henderson.
Yeah, that's a bright star.
Running back for the Denver Broncos.
All-time leading rusher in the history of the Chanticleer's program.
In the booth next door, hanging out with the local radio team. On second down, it's going to be a pickup of about 5 yards as Abercrombie able to find some room out to the left. I don't know, as much as it pains me to admit this, you're a pretty big star.
Oh, well, in your mind. In
my conference, the Big Ten at Penn State. All-American too, probably, huh?
Well, no, not All-American. Undrafted.
Really?
Undrafted free agent. Had to make my own way. You
were not drafted out of Penn State?
And somehow it left second all-time in sacks, and somehow tried to figure out how to cheat them out of 12 years and was able to do it.
It's like 12 years in the NFL. It's impressive, my man. Third down and 5. Keene looking to the sideline, and it is complete for the first down. And again, Malcolm Williams with the catch. What a throw. That was a long throw from Keene out to that sideline. And a good first down, important here for the Chanticleers, obviously, to keep the drive alive.
Very important. Very important. Remember, they couldn't finish last time. This is how you can finish drives, by getting third down conversions. Just a simple out route, wide open. Still got to execute the throw, which they did. But now you're starting to see momentum, and you're starting to see a comfortability by Keene. And I think the reason is they're able to run the football. They've had some success running it. They settle into a rhythm, and this guy can kill you with play-action passes.
Run up the middle. Marcus Outlow with the carry, picks up 3 yards. We're talking about Williams, 3 catches now for 26 yards, so he's starting to get into the game. Outlow with a couple of carries. So many different weapons here for Coastal, but again, going back to this, the big thing is going to be, like you mentioned, for Coastal, the offense is wide open when they're out in the middle of the field. What happens when the field starts to shrink and they get in the red zone?
And I think what's happening is the running game is starting to get the offensive line in a rhythm. Offensive linemen can get in a rhythm too. They'll need that as they try to finish this drive off. I like the play call of Jamie Chadwell getting back to the run, even if they've been able to throw the football and move them down. Screen pass to Tyler, knocked down and nearly intercepted.
What a defensive play by Victor Hayward. He's a true freshman from Georgia.
Victor Hayward got the start in place of James Traylor today and almost came up with a huge play. If you can't get to the quarterback, get your hands up. And he almost came up with the trifecta of hands up, batted ball, interception, turnover. Almost, you know the old saying, horseshoes and hand grenades, but almost, young fella.
How about the hops on Hayward? He's listed at 6'2", and he was leaping into the air to knock that one down. Now Demos back into the game now on 3rd down and 7 here for Coastal Carolina. And he's looking to pass, fires across the middle. It is complete. Omar Black into the end zone. Touchdown.
Man coverage. Beautiful route there. Watch the post route, Jeff. We won't see it from there, but Keene steps up. No pass rush to speak of, and you got man coverage. You have got to make the defense pay. No safety in the hole. So they're basically saying, we're going to man you up, play tight coverage, and beat you. No, not on that play. Omar Black says, you better back off or I'm going to score 2.
And it was Keene on the pass to Omar Black. I'm actually really impressed how fast they can move those 2 quarterbacks in and out.
Yeah, I mean, they keep you moving. And right now, so far, I'm trying to figure out why Keene doesn't play more. I mean, it's the first time I've seen him live, but my goodness.
Kick is good, and just like that, Coastal Carolina right back in this one. Tyler Keene, the senior, local product out of Myrtle Beach High School. With the pass to Omar Black and a touchdown. A whole new game now here from Conway.
Omar Black touchdown on the last series. Keep your eyes on Chase Middleton, number 39, the inside linebacker. You're going to see a play-action pass. You got to earn the run. Now get back. You got to get depth and make this a tougher throw. He does not get depth. That's an easy pitch and catch, and they can do that all day long. Linebackers have got to get depth on passing plays. Sure, honor your run responsibility. When it's not a run, get back, get in the passing lane, and knock that ball down.
Yeah, how many times are we watching games and we see those linebackers backpedaling?
Yes.
So that's what you're saying. Backpedal and get back deep.
And you can't be late, and you can't guess and believe it's going to be a run. You got to play your keys.
Ishibashi with the kick. Glenn Smith with the kickoff return to start the game and takes this one out close to the 30-yard line. Well, we talked about Coastal Carolina and their ability to move the ball. They've done a really good job of moving the ball today on 2 of their 3 drives that we've seen so far, but you talked about finishing, and that's what they did in that last drive. They were 0 for 3 on 3rd down conversions until that last drive. They went 2 for 2 on 3rd down conversions.
Yeah, that's something we got to track all game, 3rd down conversions, especially for the Chanticleers. In fact, they talked about that. When you want to possess the football, you want to control the clock, a big part of that is not turning it over, obviously, but also getting 3rd down conversions. They were able to do that twice in that last drive, as you said, and look at the result. So right now, they're feeling good about themselves. And I think that he talked to his offense and said, hey, we're doing fine. Just keep doing what you're doing. Don't panic. And I think you saw an offense right there who didn't panic. Defensively, they need to come out now and capitalize on what just took place with their offense. Let's keep the momentum on the green side. Let's get this ball back, a 3-and-out turnover, and now we got something going. Of course, if you're Georgia, Jeff, of course, if you're Georgia State, you just want to do what you've been doing because it certainly has been working. Number 18 is a big part of that.
Glenn Smith on the carry and hit hard right at the initial line of scrimmage. And I think it was Anthony Chesley again, and it was flexing his muscle, showing the strength as he stops Glenn Smith for no gain.
5'11", 185 pounds. From my area, Temple Hills, Maryland. Did you see him wrap his arms, though? That's how you tackle. If you're a young football player watching this game, you don't come up and throw a shoulder in there. You bring your arms, young man. Tackle the guy with your arms and pads, get him on the ground. You'll miss a lot less tackles that way.
Well, you want to see Georgia State stay with what has been working. They're -4 yards rushing, 122 passing, and now Penny Hart set up at the 30 in the Wildcat, and he has nowhere to go. Georgia State stopped again as Brewer comes up big right up the middle for the Chanticleers.
Penetration. It doesn't matter who the back is, even if he's a great player. If the guys up front allow penetration, there is no running game. That's a great job by Brewer. C.J. Brewer getting up front. 6'4", 280, only a freshman.
Again, Tioka, look at these stats. -4 rushing before that last play. And actually, we're going to have our first penalty of the game. And it's going to go against Coastal Carolina, so Georgia State will catch a break with the penalty. But again, going back to Georgia State, -4 yards rushing until that last play, 122 yards passing. And all of a sudden, going away from the passing game.
Yeah. And obviously they want to be balanced. Running the football is very important to them, so they need to get that going. If you're Coastal, you cannot have these types of penalties. These defensive penalties have killed them, especially against Monroe. Killed them.
Tyler Neal, they're going to stay on the ground. And again, back to the initial line of scrimmage.
You know what? And I know it looks ugly, but I'm okay with that. And the reason is because you got to keep your defense honest. And you can't be one-dimensional. Even if it's not working for big gash plays, you got to continue to call it because it sets up what you want to do play action-wise. So, yes, you want to be better. You want a better average per carry. But calling the run game is still very important. It keeps you ambidextrous in a way. It keeps you balanced. So a defense can't just pin their ears back and go get your quarterback.
And they'll stay on the ground again. Smith spins inside Coastal Carolina territory down to the 45-yard line.
And another
bring up third down.
Excuse me, partner. Another thing, they want to possess it too, right? Remember, he said he's old school. He being the head coach of Georgia State. Travis Trickett said he's old school in that way. He wants to possess the football. He wants to run clock. This is what they're built on. So that's another thing. He keeps the possession of football in their hands, I should say, the possession of the football in their hands. You can't have bad things happen for you defensively if you're sitting on the sidelines watching the offense play.
Smith now sets up the wideout spot to the left. Manning across the middle. Wide open. Tamir Jones, the true freshman, inside the 30 for a big first down.
Tamir, stay up. The turf monster tackled you right there, young fella. You'll hear about that in the meeting room. That's for doggone sure. But what I like about it, that's 4 for 5 on third down. They are humming on third down, talking about Georgia State. No pass rush to think of, a shallow cross, and he just gets lost. And the turf monster comes up and clips his heels.
You're right. You could see a big puff of the rubber pellets come up and get him. Tyler Neal, a big collision at the 30 and wrestled back out of bounds.
Nice
Going
play.
back to Tamir Jones, again a true freshman from Norcross, Georgia. Another wide receiver weapon, just a youngster here for Georgia State. And we've got another penalty, just our second flag of the game.
Bright future for that guy Jones. True freshman, 6 foot, 185 pounds, good size.
Face mask, defense, number 3, half the distance, first down, Georgia State.
Tioka, you just mentioned it. Jamie Chadwell, head coach, interim head coach for Coastal Carolina, said discipline, discipline, discipline. He said the turnovers and penalties have been killing us, and now 2 big penalties here on this drive.
He talked about Coastal becoming an FBS team and how that's shown up, that transition. He said he thinks that's had a real presence with their penalties because sometimes he's got guys who are overmatched physically and they reach out, grab, and throw and get penalties and fouls just because they're unable to get there because they're trying to adjust to these bigger, stronger, faster players.
Manning with time floats it down the sideline looking for his tight end Ari Wirtz, incomplete.
Now, of course, a face mask has nothing to do with that. I think a face mask is just a guy losing his focus and getting his hands where they don't belong. I mean, you should never have your hands up on the face of a player anyway. So that to me is just an unforced error, and that's the type of thing that gets you to a losing record. They're a better football team than their record, but it's the penalties and the mistakes and the turnovers that's really shot them in the foot.
Second down and 10. 3:40 to play here in the first half. Handoff to Smith, trying to find some room and tackled from behind. Good recovery, good speed, as he was smothered by Shane Johnson.
Georgia State with 12 personnel, 1 running back, 2 tight ends, 2 receivers. They're trying to get an upfront matchup problem for the defense. And again, penetration, it doesn't really matter what you do. And if you try to run the football with a 1-man backfield against an 8-man front, there should be nothing there. All gaps should be taken. That's a really good job by this Chanticleer defense stepping up and making a play, forcing 3rd and long.
You see on third down conversions, Georgia State 4 for 5. Tioka, you were just talking about that, how effective they've been on third downs.
Timeout. Georgia State. This will be a 30-second timeout.
So the Panthers will take the timeout and talk things over. Why not here on a big 3rd down and 10?
I like the timeout too, because the 3rd down, red zone 3rd down is very important. They know they can take over the ball game here with another score.
Well, we were just talking about Jamie Chadwell, the interim head coach for this Coastal Carolina program. Yes, he's the interim head coach, taking over for Joe Moglia back on July 28th, announcing his 5-month medical sabbatical that he'll take. And again, he's been really emphatic about this, Tioka, saying, it's nothing serious. It's having to do with allergies, inflammation around his lungs, but serious enough that he just had to step away from the game for a while and focus on his health. And obviously, they have a ton of confidence in Jamie Chadwell, and he's done. But look at what Joe Moglia has done with this program since taking over in 2012.
And I'm looking through my notes to pull up the stats, and our guys in the truck do a great job. Look at that right there. I mean, that's all you need to see. That winning percentage up over 770. That's excellent, but I'm glad he's taking time off to get himself right.
3rd down and 10. Manning under pressure, running, staying on his feet inside the 5, and dives, I think, enough for the 1st down. He did just get it.
What an effort. What an effort by Manning. And a terrible job of keeping contained by the left side of the defense for the Chanticleers. You have got to rush with lane discipline. And right there, you see he breaks contain and gets outside of number 46, Miles White. White has to make that play. When that quarterback rolls to you, that's an easy sack. Get up the field to the level of the quarterback and make the play. If you don't, you'll give up the 1st down.
Handoff to Neal. Through the middle, touchdown. Kyler Neal, the redshirt senior, punches it through.
I like the timeout. I don't think they drew it up to say, hey, Connor Manning, roll outside and get yourself a 1st down. But what it did was it set the offense up, gave him a breather. Manning makes a great decision to get outside the pocket, sets him up, and Kyler Neal finishes it off with a touchdown run.
First touchdown of the season for Kyler Neal. Brandon Wright with the extra point. It is good. And with about 2.5 minutes left in the 1st half, Georgia State now a 21-7 lead.
5th-year senior Kyler Neal finishes the drive off. It's been a finished drive and game for Georgia State. We'll be back.
Connor Manning and Georgia State fired up on the sidelines. Manning 10 for 13, 129 yards, and a touchdown, and now a 21-7 lead here for Georgia State.
Super efficient all day long. He set a school record with an 82% completion percentage against Tennessee State in their first game of the year. He's shown on film and in tonight, if you don't get a consistent pass rush, he will rip you with very catchable, as we talked about before, very catchable and accurate throws. Right now, I don't remember an errant throw all night from him.
Again, just under 2.5 minutes to play here in the half. Coastal's going to bring it out. Tyler able to find some room.
Not the way the coach would tell you. If you're catching that ball backing up as a kickoff returner, generally, if your momentum's going back, they tell you to stay in the end zone. Mr. Tyler says, nope, I'm coming out, and I'm getting past the 20. I'm setting up my offense. Nice job.
Especially nowadays. Take a knee and take it out to the 25.
25. I mean, you just easy. But he made it happen.
For Coastal Carolina, able to get on the scoreboard in their last possession. Here you see the first 3 possessions that they had. Boy, that missed field goal was critical, wasn't it?
It was.
11 plays, 75 yards, and it came up empty.
That's right. They had a 75-yard drive and then an 85-yard drive, and in between is sandwiched an 8. But they've proven they can move the ball. They just finished the drive on that last possession.
And a sack back at the 25-yard line. So Georgia State's defensive front comes up big.
Martarius Allen, 6'2", 270-pound junior. Nice pass rush right there. And those sacks are horrific for an offense. It just sets you completely off schedule. Now your offensive coordinator, Jamie Chadwell, has to come up with something else. That is not on script when you give up 3-yard loss on 1st down.
I was thinking the same thing, especially when you have time winding down in a half.
Yeah, the last thing they want right now is to give the ball back to a hot Georgia State offense. They need a 1st down, and they need it bad. And it's 3rd down right now. They were able to get positive yards. Good thing for them on second down. So it's third manageable.
Yeah, 3rd down and 4 here for Coastal. Still 1:43 left in the half, and you're right. Last thing they want to do is give it right back to Georgia State, who just went 9 plays, 65 yards.
I think you got to find number 9 right now. You got to figure out where Malcolm Williams is and try to get him the football.
Keene rolling out, still looking downfield, throws a little bit low. And I think they're going to say incomplete. It was. So you're right. They went to Malcolm Williams with the throw a little bit too low. He couldn't come up with it.
Yeah, he's rolling to his left, trying to throw that football on the move. Obviously wasn't very accurate. Williams tried to scoop it up. But you got to get your hands, or get the ball in the hands of your playmakers. And it looks like Williams probably should have had that catch, though. I mean, he went low. That ball wasn't too low to catch, though. Got to make tough catches, like we said before. Sorry.
Tayaka, what we were just talking about, too, that brings up 4th down. The incompletion obviously stops the clock. And with 1:35, Georgia State's going to get it back.
Yeah, the last thing you wanted to see.
Well, the officials talking things over. I'm not sure if maybe they want to take a look at this one again, or...
It's certainly a big play.
Timeout. Coastal Carolina. The ruling on the field is an incomplete pass. The coach is challenging the call on the field. Previous play is under further review.
So Jeremy Parker, our referee today, indeed saying they want to look at it.
Yeah, I don't think he caught that ball. I think that ball went between his hands and skipped off the ground. I mean, certainly it's close, and it's certainly worthy of a look, but I think that call will stand. And remember, whenever you're reviewing something, the most important thing to establish is what was the call on the field. The call was incomplete. So it has to be conclusive and undisputed video evidence that he caught that football, and that wasn't it.
And I'm with you there on that last view. If that's what we're going by, it did look like the ball was kind of bouncing around a little bit. We'll see if we get another look at it. See if you can see anything.
Nice job
here.
Nice job of breaking the pocket. Throws the football, and that's
wobbling all over the place.
Yeah. Now, what I didn't hear was whether it was confirmed or just will stand. So I guess we'll go with confirmed on that.
Yeah, just got word from the truck. David Harris, our producer, was confirmed.
David Harris, producer extraordinaire, you should say.
Yeah, our thanks to David and our entire crew here tonight from Conway, South Carolina. Warm and humid night here on Family Weekend at Coastal Carolina.
Now, they're all local boys. You think they should take us out to dinner after this thing is over, right? What do you think?
I'm on board for that.
You paying?
No. Wait a second. Who played 12 years in the NFL up here? Not this guy.
That money's gone.
Georgia State again will get it back with 1:27 on the clock, and we'll see if they try to get aggressive here and move the football and add some more to their lead. A 21-7 lead. There's Sean Elliott, first year as a head coach for this program, and kind of a new beginning for Georgia State. Opened up a brand new stadium. For those of you who maybe don't know, where the Braves used to play baseball has been converted into a football stadium now for Georgia State. But because of all the weather issues, they're right now on a 50-day road trip. They've only had one game at home.
And they're trying to establish a home field advantage in that beautiful thing. And there's the before picture, and here's the after. Look at that. That's pretty, right?
Oh, amazing.
I mean, you can get some recruits with that. Now, you bring them in there, put their name up on that Jumbotron. And
that beautiful skyline in the background.
Right, you got the city of Atlanta selling itself. Now, I think this is a very important, crucial drive in this game right now, Jeff.
Manning will pass, dumps it off to Neal, slips through a tackler, gets out beyond the 30, still on his feet at the 31-yard line. The clock will run and now stops at 1:17 on the first down.
Love the call by Travis Trickett. You know you got the all-world receiver, number 18, Penny Hart, on the field, and everybody's looking at him. You go screen away from him. Great job of running by Callan-Neal, although he is pulling up a little limp after the play.
Yeah, miscommunication that time as Manning was looking to throw it down that right side and hit Glenn Smith on the run, but Glenn wasn't looking for it. He was on a fly pattern. He was headed out to dinner.
Yep. Call it a wheel route when that running back comes out of the backfield as if he's going to the flat and turns that thing upfield, and that can be a nightmare for a big guy if you got a rusher peeling off, or even a slower linebacker. And right there, they just, like you said, it was just miscommunication.
Stops the clock with a minute to play. Handoff to Smith. And dives forward to the 34-yard line.
All right, with that call, you see Travis Trickett playing defense. And what I mean by that is he realizes if he throws the football and it's another incomplete pass, the clock will stop again, and then you're actually playing in the hands of the Chanticleers, because then they have to stop you one more play and get the ball back. So running the football was smart there. Make Coastal burn a timeout. Now you can try to see if you can get it on 3rd and long. And you may even see another run here just to make them burn another timeout. That's the interesting game right now. Do you try to throw the football, try to get the first down and run the clock out, or maybe even try to get a field goal out of this thing? Or do you run the football, make them burn their timeout, punt the ball, and let the clock run out before they can score on the next drive?
What's been interesting is that we have not called Penny Hart's name here in a little while after having a huge first quarter.
He's been quiet lately.
You see what Georgia State elects to do here on 3rd down and 7, under a minute left here in the first half. Manning is looking to pass, looks right, and it is caught by, and yeah, they're going to say complete.
Caught that? Oh, wow.
Out beyond the 40 to 42-yard line for a first down.
My goodness.
What a catch.
And a flag. And was it a push off, though? That's the question. I mean, just looking at the body language of Penny Hart, he looks a little upset.
Holding. Defense. Number 17. 10 yards. Previous spot. First down.
Well, he was upset because his shoe came off. But
he wasn't because of push off. Upset about that.
No.
Well, we were just talking about Penny Hart. They go to him again. Anthony Chesley commits the penalty. 49 seconds left here in the half. There's number 18. What a threat.
I think what you're starting to see is the safety starting to cheat over towards Hart. But they're hitting him on shorter and intermediate routes before the safety can get over there. They're going to have to, being the Chanticleers, have to adjust. Blitz.
Manning hits as he throws, and it's complete out near the 40-yard line to Penny Hart again. Well, it seems like every time we mention his name, all of a sudden he comes up into this offense again. Had a huge first quarter. Seemed like Coastal maybe made some adjustments to quiet him down, but then Georgia State makes the adjustment, comes back with back-to-back passes to him.
Coastal tried to come with a corner blitz, and it got picked up well by Glenn Smith, and you got one-on-one again with Penny, and that's a problem.
Manning steps up, dumps it off just before he gets to the line of scrimmage and finds Glenn Smith. Good pickup on first down, but we've got a flag all the way back in the backfield.
Offense, 76, 10-yard penalty, replay first down.
Big holding call there against Hunter Atkinson, left tackle for Georgia State.
Two good things on this play here for Coastal. They got a holding penalty that backs Georgia State up, and then number 18 jogs off the field because he's tired. And when number 18's off the field and you're playing defense, that's a good play for you. Can't throw it to him right now.
Officials are going to talk this one over right at midfield. You know, right now I'm feeling bad for Hunter Atkinson, number 76. I mean, I'm sure as an offensive lineman, he's not thinking this, but I'm sure they talk about this. He's like, wait a second. I'm doing good stuff this entire first half. You don't say a word about me. All of a sudden I commit a holding penalty, and now I'm all over the TV set.
And they put it on the speaker so everybody in the stadium can know who it was, who screwed up.
I've been blocking for Penny Hart all day, and now you mention my name.
But listen, I'm a D lineman. I like it when they call holding on the offense. Even now, I can't stand offensive linemen.
Atkinson, redshirt sophomore out of Georgia.
Oh, but he was really humming. Made that ball go back the other way, and he had friends coming from the backside.
Tyler Keene at quarterback for Coastal Carolina. A senior from Myrtle Beach High School, a local product. From his own goal line, fires complete out to the 15-yard line to Omar Black. He's had a good day so far. Omar Black, we called his name a few times back in the first half, the junior from Marietta, Georgia.
Well, he really has. Really nice routes. He's caught the football for the most part when it's thrown his way. Just a simple hook route right there. That's a zone beater. Jeff, you run hooks and you run down and out, slants are for man coverage, hooks in the middle of the field. in the void of the defense, those beat zone. The ball has to come out quickly and on time and on target. That's exactly what happened. Great job by both the quarterback and Mr. Black.
What a big third down early. They hand it off to Abercrombie, and Georgia State's defense right there to shove him back. Fourth down.
Great series for Terry Thomas. Penetration on both first and third down. We talk about penetration is the key. You cannot run the football and allow penetration. They don't go together. It's like oil and water. You have got to push the defensive back, and then your running backs have to have the vision of finding creases. There was no crease to find. He's getting hit as soon as he gets the football. Great job of coming out of the locker room by that Georgia State defense.
Evan Rabin to punt it away. Penny Hart to receive. A wobbling spiral. Fields it at the 45-yard line for a fair catch. Just underway, second half here from Conway, South Carolina. Georgia State with the lead and the football when we come back. Georgia State with the football for the first time here in the second half as we're just underway. A 21-7 lead for the Panthers. What a first half for Connor Manning. Tyoka, how impressed have you been with him, seeing him for the first time tonight?
Very. I mean, he's done a great job in the pocket. He's poised, looking downfield, going through his progressions. It's excellent. But here's the thing. When you get a chance to go through your progressions, that means your offensive line is doing their job. And so let's show some love to Atkins, Gilmore, Paxton, Mobley, and Wheeler, because they've done a heck of a job, for the most part, pass blocking and giving Connor Manning time. But when he's had to move around, he's done a great job. Pocket breaks down. He slid outside, keeping his eyes downfield. It's been an excellent football game for that guy.
Well, it's a great point about the offensive line because they have some guys playing out of position.
Yeah.
Second down and 8. Manning with 4 wide receivers. Has time, fires complete. No, incomplete at the 45-yard line. Popped up, but it was incomplete, looking for Todd Boyd. But going back to the offensive line, you're absolutely right. Coaches told us during the week, Jamal Paxson, a former walk-on, he's converted defensive lineman, so he's playing center. And you just mentioned Gabe Mobley. He's a converted center now at right guard. So some guys playing out of position. They've done a really good job.
Yeah, Mobley's probably their best offensive lineman, moved to the guard position against Penn State, graded out pretty well there. But they're starting to come together. If they can keep him in the same position, they'll get better and better.
Manning hit hard as he throws. That's going to be incomplete. Got a lot of pressure, and he was flattened back at the 40-yard line. Is that Michael Makins? Marcus Williamson on it again? See it again. You're right. Yeah, here comes Williamson right up the middle. Ooh, huge hit right to the face mask.
And some helmet contact here. They ran a nice TE stunt there, and Williams comes inside. And we talked about him and his pass rush ability. Third down is his down. He's the guy that can beat guys one-on-one. That time they ran a nice stunt and came home. Almost got the sack, but sometimes pressuring the quarterback is just as good as a sack.
High spiraling kick, and it's going to just go into the end zone. As we will see Coastal Carolina's offense come back out onto the field. Again, obviously, Tyoka with the Chanticleers down 2 touchdowns. They had the ball to begin the second half, and boy, Georgia State's defense, especially that defensive front, came up big as Coastal couldn't do anything.
Yeah, you got to come back and run the football. They've got to find a way to get their option attack going, and they wasn't able to do it on their first drive, but I can't get away from it. I know it's a 14-point game, but the clock is not an issue right now. You've got to stay disciplined if you're Jamie Chadwell and don't get out of character. Keep running the football, try to play action pass off of that, but at some point they're going to have to be consistent and getting 3, 4, 5 yards a pop to be able to loosen up this defense.
If you're tuned in late, we saw Coastal back in the first half. They actually put 2 long drives together, and one of those would come up empty. He getting pressure, now gets hit right at the 21-yard line, so a pickup of maybe just 1 or 2 yards. Trey Payne putting the pain on Kane. What a hit.
Great rush by Julian Laurent right there. That pocket collapsed in a hurry. Lauren is one of 10 players on this team who's already graduated. He's working on graduate studies, which you love to see. Get all the education out of this university, young man.
Second down and 9. Pitch play over to the right side. Good room to run and a good pickup for Kyan Tyler, a sophomore from Sumter, South Carolina. We called his name a few times. Youngster, and he's going to be a good player here at Coastal Carolina.
Fast. He's the fastest guy on the team, really. I mean, really explosive in the open field, and that's the sort of offense that I was used to seeing all week watching film. Running a read option out of a spread look. We talked about how it stretches your defense and forces you to be on the screws of assignment every single play.
Handoff up the middle. 3 different backs that Coastal Carolina will use. That time they used Marcus Aldo, the redshirt junior. Actually a transfer from Boston College. Got his first career touchdown with Coastal Carolina last week.
Very good first down yardage, 4 yards. You'll take that. But what this does, it's not just 4 yards, Jeff. It's just not 4 yards. What that does is it sets up the play action pass. This is when they really gas you. Get 3 yards here, 4 yards here. Then that ball goes in the belly of the receiver, or running back, comes out, and they're looking for big plays down the field.
A flag as Coastal Carolina broke huddle.
Pre-snap penalties.
Illegal substitution, offense, 12 men in the formation, 5-yard penalty, second down.
Pre-snap penalties. There's no excuse for this. This is not a forced penalty because you got out of position because the guy's better than you, big and stronger and all that. These are mental errors, and it kills you. Now, again, it went from 2nd and 6 to now 2nd and 11. And Coach Caldwell now has to change whatever Chadwell has to change whatever he was thinking before. Different call now. Change the whole complexion, maybe, of the entire series. Can't have pre-snap penalties. Can't shoot yourself in the foot. They've been doing it all year.
A lot of time. And that one thrown too far. Looked like Williams was, at least doubled, maybe triple covered down the field by Georgia State.
Yeah, nobody there. Wasn't nothing there for him. You probably would have been better served to tuck that and try to get what you can get and try to make a big play. You can't get into the trap of trying to feed the ball to your big-time playmaker. He has had a quiet game for sure, but you got to be careful. You don't want to force the ball, make bad decisions, because that'll be bad for your offense because the ball will be going the other way.
Coastal unable to move the ball in their first possession, now facing 3rd and 11 here on their second possession of the half. Down by 2 touchdowns. Keene steps away from trouble. Throws complete out near the first down. Tyler's going to be awfully close. This spot is going to be huge. And they say he got it. So first down for the Chanticleers. Huge play.
Big-time football right there by 2 guys. Number 13, Tyler Keene, feeling the pressure, sliding up the pocket like he's been doing all day. Climbing the pocket, eyes downfield, finds his man. And Kyjon Tyler does a great job of catching the football and getting straight upfield. A lot of times you see players catch, look to dance, trying to figure out where to go. He catches the football, knowing his 3rd down, gets straight upfield. Great execution, first down.
Keene fakes the handoff, throws the screen as they force Williams out of bounds for a pickup of about 3 or 4 yards. But again, like you just mentioned, it's a gain of 3 or 4 yards, but now you've got, 2nd down and about 6 or 7. And again, that playbook becomes wide open for you again.
That's right. And we talked about before, that ball goes into the running back's belly. Linebackers have to honor that. That creates passing lanes behind them and to the outside of them. This is what this offense is all about, but it starts with the running game. They got to be able to run it to be able to have an effective pass play game.
Fake it up the middle. Pitch it outside, and not a whole lot of room to run on that sideline. Really good pursuit by Georgia State. They were all over Aldo and ended up forcing him out of bounds.
Antrell Allen did a great job on the corner playing off the block, using his hands to get off the block, get up the field, and make the tackle all by himself. When you play defense with your hands and understand your leverage, it's as if you can have the 10 other guys sit down. I mean, he played outside leverage, played the corner defense. The ball came right to him because he was right where he's supposed to be. Did a great job.
Well, Antrell Allen should know football. He's a senior on this squad, been around for a while, and he's from Auburn. So he knows exactly how this game should be played.
That's right.
Actually grew up in Auburn, Alabama. Try to run it up the middle, pick up, maybe 2 yards. And that's going to bring up 4th down now for the Chanticleers.
Well, very conservative call, but the reason is this is 4-down territory. The Chanticleers said we're going to go for it, so I like the call. I didn't like it initially because I thought they'd punt the ball. Right. But if you're looking at 4 downs, yeah, go ahead and run, get yourself 2 or 3, and now it's really manageable at 4th and about 3 yards. The question is, though, do you look to throw or run it?
Out of that same multiple option set here for Keene. And pitches it out where the ball is loose. And that play is not going to go anywhere. Alex James was able to pick up the ball on a one-hopper and runs out of bounds, so that will turn the ball over on downs.
One of the few mistakes by Keene. He had what he wanted. It sort of was a lead option where you had the pitch man with a lead blocker in front of him. They had something cooking on the outside. Bad pitch, bad play, turnover.
Yep. Tioka, just an observation I've had is that, again, Coastal Carolina playing a full FBS schedule for the first time in their program's history. And obviously playing against a fast defense. And we've got a break, so we'll talk about this more when we come back. Georgia State's with a 21-7 lead. Back with more when we come back here from Conway. Next, and I'm Jeff McCarriger. Georgia State with a 21-7 lead as we take a look at Jamie Chadwell, the interim head coach and offensive coordinator for the Chanticleers of Coastal Carolina. And Tioka, you and I just got into a conversation during the break that I wanted to talk about after we see first down here for Connor Manning, and Georgia State throws across the middle, caught by Hart inside the 40, inside the 30, still on his feet inside the 25-yard line. Penny Hart doing it all today offensively.
What an effort. You know what I like about that? You see how he finished the play off? He could have easily ran out of bounds and, didn't take the hit. He wanted more yards and got about 6 more yards just from being tough. Watch him finish this thing off. No, I'm not going out of bounds. You got to take me out. 5'8", 180, but plays like he's 250 pounds.
Hart now over 100 yards on the day as Glenn Smith dives forward for a nice pickup on first down. So going back to Coastal Carolina's offense, it seems to me, again, they're playing FBS for the first time. Coaches talked to us during the week that obviously there's a step up in athleticism and speed. Yep. And to run to the outsides, it just seems like Georgia State's defense is just too fast to do that. It seemed to me like the Chanticleers had a lot more success throwing across the middle. So you and I were talking about this during the break, and you said, while that may be true, for Coastal Carolina, they like to run to the outside. That's what they do.
That's who they are. I mean, we talked about it with the coaches. It's designed to get the ball in the perimeter and make big plays. That will evolve to be a better offense as they recruit differently in the coming years. But right now, you got to be who you are. The system is the system, and Jamie Chadwell has to call the script that he has. He can't do anything else and turn himself into anything else. They got to run it perfectly, though, when you're playing against guys who are bigger, stronger, faster.
Manning's going to keep it and falls forward inside the 5-yard line. Manning comes up limping a little bit. By the way, we had a lot of questions at halftime about whether or not there was any relation between this Manning and the other Mannings. There is not.
Well, he's looked like
he does look like
Mannings. I mean, the way he's played, he's been so efficient, but no bloodlines there.
Handoff inside the 5 again as Glenn Smith cuts it upfield, falls forward. Third down now coming up here for Georgia State with a 2-touchdown lead. Just over 5 minutes to play here in the third quarter.
Another excellent play by Silas Kelly. Didn't get credit for the tackle. What you saw was great penetration, made the ball turn back, and again, the pursuit was there for him. This Kelly guy is impressive. Former wide receiver, playing now linebacker, so you know he can run fast. And he's only a freshman, 6'4", 225 pounds, got an extremely bright future.
3rd and 2, Manning on the handoff. They try to shove it up the middle. That's actually DeMarcus Kirk, I believe it is. DeMarcus Kirk, the redshirt junior from Dora, Alabama, with his first carry of the night. Now, for Georgia State, they can get the first down.
And they do.
So first and goal now from about the 2-yard line here for the Panthers. A chance to really extend their lead.
Hard Baker City on that play to give them the first down. Then he got 4 downs to get 3 yards.
And again, they are going to try and give it to Kirk. Nowhere to go. Bounces it to the outside and in for the touchdown. But we've got 2 flags back of the play.
I think you're going to see holding on the perimeter. I believe it's probably going to be on Ari Wirtz.
Oh, it looked like he just got
88 offense, 10-yard penalty, replay down.
Looked like he just got swallowed up inside, then all of a sudden bounced outside. But yeah, a holding call is going to bring it all back.
And that's not his game. He's a big guy. He likes to run the ball up inside, but there was nothing there, as you can see. And then, as you see a lot on perimeter plays, the tight end expecting the ball to go inside, it bounces outside, and Wirtz is grabbing jersey. Happens all the time in football because they don't expect that ball to bounce outside. They feel that defender getting away from them, and it's just natural human nature to grab cloth. But you can't do it because the referee is looking at the tight end on every single play. That back judge is looking at the tight end every single play to make sure he doesn't get fouled and he doesn't hold anybody else on running plays.
I'm guessing from Sean Elliott's reaction that perhaps Kirk was not supposed to bounce that outside.
I would agree with that.
Manning to pass, flips it to Smith inside the 10, and tackled from behind at the 5, a late flag, and you're right, that's going to be an easy call.
Yeah, we saw that from up here. But how about the execution, though? I love the play call. Sort of the play like the Chanticleers had on the other side where they were running a lead option, but instead of being an option play, they threw it.
Horse collar on the defense, number 9. Half the distance to the goal, first down.
But just continuing, Glenn Smith had a lead blocker on that perimeter. You see Wirtz there, lead blocking. When you got man coverage, you got a lead blocker. That's going to be a successful play for the offense, and that's a very, very dangerous tackle. They've outlawed that because a lot of guys have blown out knees, and Shane Johnson has to be very disciplined not to pull on that back of the jersey. They don't call it every time. That's an easy call, and I'm glad Glenn Smith didn't pull up lame on that because it very easily could have.
First and goal again. Handoff, they try to go up the middle, diving towards the end zone, and I think he's going to be just shy. And he is, so Glenn Smith will come up literally inches shy. Well, going back to your point, they actually extended that call this year.
Illegal formation on the offense, 5 at the backfield.
Another costly penalty. It's not just horse collar. Even if you grab him around the nameplate and pull him down.
Yeah, and I like that. I'm a defensive guy, and I hate extra work and extra help for the offense, but that right there, I do. I mean, that's never going to leave me, but that right there will save careers of young people because, as you know, our knees are not designed to play football, and when you start tugging backwards as a guy's going forward, that's just high alert for an ACL, MCL, patella tendon, the whole 9. So that's a rule I like, and they're really enforcing it, and that's the way it should be.
3.5 minutes to play here in the third quarter. First and goal for Georgia State, and another whistle just before the snap. They might not have gotten it off in time before the play clock.
Timeout, Georgia State.
Yeah, play clock went to 0, but the Panthers get a timeout, and Sean Elliott is not happy.
It's a sloppy drive right now. He's upset because they're not executing in the second half the way they did in the first. And you can see the intensity right now. You can't look at the scoreboard. I don't care if you're down or up. You can't be scoreboard watching. And it looks like mentally Georgia State is not where they were to start this game. And right now he's lighting the fire right now. He's getting their attention right now.
Well, Tyoke, you mentioned it. When we talked to him during the week, one of the first things that he talked about when you change a culture in a program, the first word he said was discipline.
No question.
And that's what he's preaching right now.
There you go. And he talked about guys were doing their own thing in practice, wearing what they want to wear, doing what they wanted to do, not doing things together. So he took care of that immediately, addressed that situation, and started bringing guys together so they can start playing for each other. When you have selfish players, you get more penalties because they start playing for themselves. Unselfish, disciplined players love their teammates, and they start doing things the right way because they don't want to let the other guy down. And so that's something he's changed. It's gotten better. And last year they were great. One of the fewest penalized teams in America last year. And so he's upset because this is not who they are.
You see the penalties, 6 on Coastal Carolina. Something they've been trying to work on as well. All right, still first and goal after the timeout. Manning looking to pass. And contact as the wide receiver fell down. It was Penny Harder got knocked down, but no flags, no calls. Second down and goal now for Georgia State. Now the Panthers and the Chanticleers, a critical game here in Week 6 for Georgia State. This is actually, believe it or not, their Sun Belt Conference opener. And 1-2 on the season. Trying to open up conference play here on a positive note. Second down and goal, handoff to Smith. And fights his way for a couple of yards down to the 7.
We've seen Mr. Williamson play great pass defense by getting up the field and getting in the face of Connor Manning. That time, he makes the play on the run. And they were expecting Williams to get upfield. They don't block him on that play. They want him to get upfield, take himself out, but he's reading his keys. That tackle blocks down as a defensive end. You close. He closed right to the ball carrier, made the tackle. Third down. Nice play by Williamson.
Georgia State doesn't come up with a touchdown here. I think Sean Elliott's going to explode on the sidelines. Third down and goal. Manning with time fires into the end zone, but knocked away. Looking for his tight end, Ari Wertz again. So fourth down. Coastal Carolina hoping that worst case scenario, their opponents here just get the field goal. And sure enough, the field goal unit's going to come out here for the Panthers.
They went bunch to the left, had a drag across the middle and tried to catch the receiver coming from the outside in, but Javon Brown was having none of it. Nice job of coming around, not getting the pass interference, but getting the ball out. Beautiful job of red zone defense.
Brandon Wright on the kick, just 1 for 4 coming into today, and misses it wide right. And keep that in mind, that could be a big miss. Just over 2.5 to play here in the third quarter. Still a ball game. Georgia State with a 2-touchdown lead.
Look at the eyes of Sean Elliott. He is jumping his team, not just for this game, but for the future. You can't have penalties like that, especially no snap penalties. That's terrible. And then he's an equal opportunity reamer. He goes from the offensive skill position down to the offensive line. This guy's intense. He doesn't care about the scoreboard. You got to play the game the right way in order to win consistently, and that's what he's getting across to his team right now.
Nobody was safe. I was keeping my mouth shut during the break. I wasn't going to say a word.
It was a guy in street clothes who caught a little bit of it too.
Keene on the run. That one could have been intercepted, but out of bounds, incomplete. Brings up second down.
I love it.
Yeah, he seemed like such a nice guy when we were talking to him this week.
Oh, of course, because the game hadn't started. And that's the kind of coach you like, though, because it keeps you focused. And like I said, it's not so much this game. They may very well go on and win this game. We don't know. There's a lot of football left to be played. But the point is, you play the game the right way. Every time you're on the field, you have to represent the Georgia State Panthers with hard play and not mental mistakes.
But like we mentioned, he is totally trying to change the culture with Georgia State. And he is so excited about having this job, too. Again, he left South Carolina to go down to Georgia State and take this job as the head coach. And he was excited about the new stadium, excited about the recruiting area that he's in, his relationship with the athletic director. He is all in on this job.
And he needs a new shirt, because I'm guaranteeing you that shirt is soaked right now. But that's the way you want your coach to coach every single game, regardless of the score, as if you're losing. Players play harder and better that way.
Third down and 6. Pressure from behind and a sack for Georgia State. Came from behind. The pressure did. And again, for Coastal Carolina, nowhere to go. James Traylor with the sack. Here it is again.
Well, when you run a 3-4 scheme, the linebackers can come from any position. And that time, Traylor came around the outside. Too much speed for the corner of that offensive line. It makes a big play. Another 3 and out for the Chanticleers. Now that's 4 3 and outs in just 8 possessions, and that'll get you beat all day long.
Penny Hart, nice catch. That one was just booted almost as high as it was far. So good catch by Penny Hart at the 35-yard line. Well, again, we were talking about Georgia State, and because of some weather issues, they had a game that was totally canceled against Memphis because of issues in their conference with Hurricane Irma. So they are on a road trip right now where they're actually away from home for 50 days.
But you know what, though? That actually fits the narrative of Sean Elliott in terms of toughness and discipline, because you got to be tough, and mentally tough is what we're talking about. We're not talking about chesty guys who want to mouth off. We're talking about mentally tough, disciplined football players. That's the only way you can come out of that thing successful. 50 days between home games. I mean, that's 4 consecutive road games. That's crazy. But you know what? That makes you hard as steel when you come out of that, especially if you come out of it with some sort of running record.
Handoff, and nowhere to go for Glenn Smith. So for Coastal Carolina, their defense comes up for no gain. Second down coming up. Well, here's one of our stats of the game, no doubt. How about average starting field position? For Georgia State, their own 41. For Coastal Carolina, their own 22.
Yeah, that's big. I mean, that right there, that means that Georgia State is going a much shorter distance to score than the Chanticleers.
Yeah.
The Chanticleers are always starting at or near their red zone. Hard to go 80 yards, 80 some odd yards on every single drive.
Pressure up the middle. Manning gets it away, but it is incomplete.
Manning getting up slow too. Took a shot, trying to get the ball to Hart.
Let's see who it is. Somebody came sneaking right up the middle, and sure enough, there he is. What a play. Good read. Coming right up the middle. I think that was Jave Brown, sophomore from Franklin, New Jersey.
It was Brown on a blitz. Untouched. When you get a guy in the quarterback's face right up the middle, every quarterback hates that, whether it's Peyton Manning or Connor Manning. You get that pressure right up the gut, it's going to affect the throw now.
Coastal trying to stay in this one. A 3rd down and 9. Again, Manning looking to pass. Fires complete out to midfield. And guess who? Number 18, Penny Hart.
It's like a broken record. The guy knows how to get open. He's really smart. He sat down in the zone. You don't want to run through zones because you'll run from one piece of coverage to another. Turned in, sat down in the zone. Connor Manning continues to show great poise in the pocket. When you don't rush him, he's going to be accurate, throws a great ball. First down.
And that will be the final play of the 3rd quarter.
They're fired up.
Sean Elliott now has these guys fired up. You think they're playing hard for him? Georgia State's first game on the road here in conference play with a 2-touchdown lead. 4th quarter coming up here from Conway, and this is the face of a coach who is changing a program and changing a culture. We just talked about Sean Elliott breaking the guys down, but look at how he just loves them up and fires up his team, Tioka. This is special here.
Vinegar and honey. We showed you the vinegar earlier. I mean, he was getting in him. He was jumping tail, right? Then you come back and show some love. And what that does, that gets your team behind you. You win over your players, and they want to run through a wall for you. That's great stuff right there by Sean Elliott.
False start. Offense. 76. 5-yard penalty. First down.
Well, here comes the vinegar again. There it is. Vinegar and honey. And it's an ebb and flow between both of those throughout the entire game. There'll be some vinegar for whoever committed that penalty sitting over there. And we're talking that old school vinegar too. We're talking about the brown stuff, right? Unfiltered, raw, apple cider vinegar. It'll be waiting for him on the sidelines.
First down and 15 now for Georgia State with a 2-touchdown lead as the 4th quarter now underway. Smith with the handoff and out to midfield. So back to the original line of scrimmage, 2nd down and 10 for the Panthers.
So right now, if you're Coastal Carolina, this is going to be a 9-on-7 game for your defense. And 9-on-7 is the old drill in practice where you just line up and run box runs. Because that's how Georgia State's going to try to get out of this game. They're going to try to run the football, shorten this game, shorten the possessions, so you don't give Coastal an opportunity to come back and hopefully end each drive with something that's going to change the scoreboard. They couldn't care less right now if it's going to be touchdown and take touchdowns, but even field goals, they'll take that too. So right now, they got to show up and play defense if you're a Chanticleer fan.
Hand off again to Smith, finds a little bit of room off that right side and gets close to the first down inside Coastal Carolina territory down at the 43-yard line. By the way, just got the updated numbers on Penny Hart. Both Penny Hart and Glenn Smith having big nights. For Penny Hart, 8 catches, 132 yards.
Yeah, that's a day, right? I mean, we talked about last week, 11 catches, 142 yards. So you're putting those two together. That's a trend right now. Every team in the Sun Belt is going to see these films, and they're going to say 18 is a killer, and we got to take care of him if we want to win the football game.
On 3rd down and 3, they try to run the ball again. As you mentioned, just trying to see if they can push their way forward, get some first downs, and chew up some clock. But DeMarcus Kirk is tackled short of the first down, so 4th down now for the Panthers.
Interesting right now, the Panther offense is on the field. Now, are they really thinking about going forward? No, they're just trying to burn clock. Okay, they're just taking the time. I'm thinking here, whoa.
I was with you.
That'd be ill-advised, in my opinion. You just want to play field position and run the football and try to get this 13 minutes out of here as fast as possible.
I'll tell you what, Tioka, not to be lost in this is the fact that this is just a 2-touchdown game. I mean, right now it feels like Georgia State is dominating this game, but you know what? This is one of those games that kind of feels like one of those games where you're just kind of letting somebody hang around.
That's right.
I mean, Coastal Carolina is one big play away from making this a totally different ball game.
I agree completely. And really, I think they played pretty good defense. And we'll talk about when we come back. But other than the first quarter early in this game, they played pretty good defense against these guys.
Coastal Carolina football when we come back. Jamie Chadwell, the Chanticleer is not done yet.
You know, the fireworks started in the first quarter. Glenn Smith took the opening kickoff 90 yards. Bounced off a guy that lost lane integrity, and he had the speed to finish it off. And that really got the game going in Georgia State's favor right from the beginning. You see the kicker missed the tackle. And then right after that, the Chanticleers had a nice drive, but missed the field goal. And then Georgia State comes right back with 11-play, 80-yard touchdown drive. And those 14 points early in the first quarter is the difference in the ball game right now.
Coastal, another opportunity here with their offense. On the quarterback keeper up the middle and no gain. Georgia State's defensive front right there again. But you're right, Tioka. I mean, you take away that opening kick and the missed field goal. If you add both those into this game, all of a sudden it's an 8-point game, a one-possession difference.
It is, and as you know, as we analyze this thing, we have to talk about it. But of course, you can't take it away, and that's the problem. You have to come out off the bus ready to play. And coaches talk about all the time, fast starts at the beginning of games and halves. The team that starts the fastest generally puts themselves in a position to win, and that's what you see tonight.
2nd down and 9 for the Chanticleers. And a handoff out to the 30-yard line. Able to sneak it into the basket of Osh Abercrombie. Haven't talked about him much since back in the first quarter. He's a 5'9", 210 power back, a senior from Greenwood, South Carolina. Spent 3 years as the backup to D'Angelo Henderson, who of course plays for the Denver Broncos now.
5'9", 210, like you said, and he breaks the tackles. He's the guy that runs up inside with power, but again has a very impressive average per carry.
Keen looking to pass, a little bit of trouble from behind. Gets free and fires it into the turf. Looking for his tight end, Maxwell Joseph, but he was on the run and ends up throwing it low.
Excellent pressure from Georgia State. Great ball handling early in the play. Keen faked the run, twisted around, got his eyes downfield. The pressure made him roll. Just couldn't get an accurate enough throw, couldn't get enough juice on it. He had a guy wide open, hooked up around the numbers, but just couldn't get the ball to him.
2nd down and 10. Try pitch play to the outside, and again, nowhere to go. As Tyler was wrestled down and smothered from behind.
Trajan Stevens-McQueen did a nice job. Again, we talked about assignment football in this option. When they run the option, everybody has a guy. And if you just stay disciplined and take the guy that's yours, option football can look really bad. The problem is when you get guys trying to do too much, they lose their eye discipline and you can get gashed. Not that time, though, for Georgia State.
3rd down and 10 for the Chanticleers. They throw complete out across the 35-yard line, but they're going to end up being about 3 or 4 yards shy. So 4th down now coming up for Coastal Carolina. And that's Rodney Mitchell, the left tackle for Coastal Carolina, who comes up limping a bit.
Nice hit late in the play. That late pressure is always good for the defense, and then you just see the offensive lineman hurting there. But what you saw, Omar Black, he caught that ball and started to dance. Did you notice that? You got to catch that football, get straight up field. And when you start to dance, you're going to come up 3 yards short. You got to get the football, get straight up field, and with low pads, with some physicality, and you'll get a 1st down.
Penny Hart again back to trying to return this one, but a deep kick, nice punt all the way back to the 15-yard line. Still a 21-7 lead for the Panthers on the road. They'll have the football when we come back. Sean Elliott and the Georgia State Panthers, their Sun Belt Conference opener, believe it or not, here in Week 6 with a 21-7 lead over Coastal Carolina. With Tyoka Jackson, I'm Jeff McCarriger. Thanks for tuning in here tonight. Georgia State back on offense, and nothing doing here on first down, and a little extracurricular activity between a couple of the wide receivers and a defensive back for Georgia State now having to be separated, and also a flag in that far side of the field.
Somebody's going to go ballistic. One of these coaches.
Started out with just some pushing and shoving, and then got pretty aggressive, and a flag was thrown. Oh, while the officials sort this one out again for Georgia State, their conference opener, and for Coastal Carolina. This program is in a big time of transition, Tyoka. Second year of making that transition from FCS to FBS. This is their first full season of FBS schedule in the Sun Belt, and first Sun Belt home game. Obviously trying to play well in front of their home crowd. We were just saying during the break, too, as we get the word here from our official, Jeremy Parker.
Hands to the face. Offense, 81. After the play, half the distance to the goal, second down.
Right now, the big thing you said is Coastal's got to get a turnover.
Yeah.
They've got to have something that sparks this team, get that energy back, and get that offense rolling again.
Well, that first play by Jalen Walker, the freshman, I mean, he came out of his stance and destroyed the guard in front of him, made the tackle by himself. So clearly, he knows this game's not over. And if a freshman defensive lineman knows the game's not over, every single player in green should know the same thing. Now, that penalty is going to help him, but with 9:37 and as explosive as this offense can be, this game is clearly not over. They got, at the end of the day, they got to find a way to get Malcolm Williams the ball offensively, because he's the guy who's the home run threat for their team. He and Kai John Tyler. But first things first, they need to get this ball back in good field position for the offense.
Second down and 20. Hand off to Glenn Smith, gets out to the 12-yard line, and really anything right now that keeps the clock running is probably a win for Georgia State.
Yeah, no need to do anything too cute. Run the football, run clock, continue to try to punish the front seven of CCU. The clock is in your favor, the scoreboard is in your favor. Play like it. Your defense is only giving up 7 points, so just rely on them if you're Golden State. Oh, excuse me, Georgia State. Golden State. Wait, what was that? Golden State. I got Seth Curry on the brain.
Third down and 20. Manning throws, and it is incomplete. Looking for Penny Hart again. And so the offense comes up empty for Georgia State. And again, Tyoka, it's what we're talking about. I mean, Coastal Carolina, how about a credit to their defense?
Yeah.
I mean, they've really slowed down Georgia State, and they are keeping this team in this game right now.
They have answered the bell. And again, save that first quarter. Boy, they've played really, really well. They've only given up 7 points since the 3-minute mark of the first quarter. And you can win with that. Again, you can't take back the kickoff, but if it wasn't for the kickoff return, it'd be a 7-point game.
And now a kick out of their own end zone and a wobbling punt that is going to roll out of bounds near midfield. So we were just talking about field position. And for Georgia State, they've been starting from an average of around their own 40. And for Coastal Carolina, they've been starting from, on average, their own 22. So for the Chanticleers, now some good field position. And, boy, you know this guy knows exactly what we're talking about. He's seen this many times in his 20-year career.
And right now, the team in white is going to hear the term finish. They have got to finish this ball game in the right way. And what they're doing is they're dangling out the ball game for the guys in green and saying, hey, if you want to get back in it, I'm helping you. I'm helping you. So you'll hear about that on the sidelines if you're wearing a white uniform. But if you're CCU, it's your time now. You got the ball on the plus side of 50. It's time to make something happen and change the scoreboard and get back in this football game.
Keene throws complete across the middle, inside the 30-yard line, down to about the 25. Chris Jones, who was just cleared this week from concussion protocol, back into the lineup and comes up with a big play.
Has a catch in 6 straight games, now make it 7. The coaching staff said he hasn't been able to even condition for the last 3 weeks. And they were going to play him in spots. He comes up big for him.
Handoff as they go on the ground down to the 20-yard line, or close to the 20 anyway. as Outlow, the ball carrier. And you know, you and I were talking about this earlier in the broadcast, but the middle of the field has been open for passing for the Chanticleers.
There's no question. Slants and post routes have been there all night long. If they can block them up, they'll be there for the rest of this game.
Well, this could change everything. 2nd down and 5.
Still got to get the ball in number 9's hand at some point, I believe.
Keene again has to take off running inside the 20, down to the 10, and out of bounds at the 5-yard line. 1st down and goal now for the Chanticleers.
Great decision to tuck that ball and run. He saw nothing but green grass, or in this case teal grass, open up, artificial turf. Take that grass, take that turf. 1st down and goal for the Chanticleers.
Jamie Chadwell, interim head coach, trying to dial up a touchdown play here for Coastal Carolina.
Remember, they struggled in the red zone tonight. Can they punch this ball in? They have to.
Keene in trouble, fires into the end zone. Touchdown. Kyon Tyler, the sophomore, with the score. And just like that, Coastal Carolina's in this ballgame.
Once again, Tyler Keene shows great poise because the pressure's coming. Looks one way, comes back, slides out, doesn't look to run and break the pocket early, keeps his eyes downfield, and the pride of something South Carolina, Kyon Tyler steps up and makes a play for his team.
Rabin on for the extra points, and he's got it. And Tioka, this is what we've been talking about all half. The Chanticleers hanging around.
CCU says we're not dead yet, baby. Don't you touch that clicker. We got a ball game, folks.
Conway, South Carolina. How about Tyler Keene, the senior, local kid out of Myrtle Beach High School? Not only 2 for 2 with 27 yards passing and 16 yards rushing, but capped it off, leading his team down the field to make this a 1-possession game. Tioka now 21-14.
I've been very impressed with both of these quarterbacks, and they played really well. When their offensive line has given them time, they've shown that they can keep their eyes downfield, get the ball downfield, deliver very accurate throws for the most part. No quarterback's going to be perfect. I mean, that's just the way it is. But you want to see efficiency, and you want to see them make plays when they're to be made, and both guys have.
And the kick will be fielded inside the 10-yard line. Penny Hart, probably a face mask there. No flag, though.
I was thinking horse collar right there, but
they will start at their own 17-yard line.
Anthony Chesley, you see a lot of starters on special teams because special teams is very important. As we know, this is the difference in the ball game right now, 7-point game. But look at Chesley keep his outside leverage, and well, you know, he let the face mask go, but you see that's a horse collar all day long. I have no idea what the official was looking at.
That was 2. I mean, you're right. I mean, there were really 2 flags
right there.
Yeah,
you could have hit him with either one of them. And again, we talked about how dangerous those horse collars were, and you got the best player on the football field getting pulled down by a horse collar again. That's the 2nd time tonight.
See which one they flagged him for.
Illegal block in the back. Return team, number 90. Half the distance to the goal. 1st down, Georgia State.
Tioka, whoa.
And if you're Sean Elliott, I mean, all you can do is laugh at that, I guess. I mean, he probably saw both fouls on his guy. I mean, it doesn't get any worse than that. But, hey, if you are CCU, you're loving this right now, right? I mean, this couldn't be any better the last 2 drives. Both times getting backed up. The opponent's getting backed up with penalties. But, yeah,
I mean, we just saw the replay. It was a face mask and a horse collar. And instead it goes against Georgia State.
Yeah, unbelievable.
Well, when momentum's in your favor, it really rolls, doesn't it?
That's right. And you know, somewhere somebody said, home cooking. Just a missed call.
So the ball now inside their own 10-yard line. They go to the ground to Glenn Smith. Gets it out across the 15. And what a run. Good pickup on 1st down. That's going to bring up 2nd down and short.
Yeah, he's had a great game, really. I mean, we talked about him being a converted receiver. And generally, when you move guys from receiver to tailback, the biggest problem is certainly they can run, but they're not very tough. But you've seen him. He's run really hard, broken tackles. 6'1", 200-pound senior has shown up tonight.
Coming up on 6 minutes left in the 4th quarter. Just a one-touchdown game. Manning throws, and it's complete out across the 20 for the first down. Again, going right back. It's tight end Ari Wirtz.
They haven't cut him all night. Wirtz has been there for him whenever he wants.
Huge first down, because now really the biggest opponent for Coastal Carolina is the clock.
Yeah.
Under 6 minutes now left, first down and 10.
And let's not underestimate the role of fatigue in this game as well.
Again, Georgia State will keep it on the ground. Well, Glenn Smith's got to be tired. He's been working hard today.
You kidding me? He better not be. This is what tailbacks want. They want to be in this position at this point of the game. You're going to run the football right here. This is where he can now establish himself as one of the better running backs in the conference. Everybody in the stadium knows they're going to run it. If he rips off a couple runs, not only will he help solidify the win, but his reputation will begin to grow as well.
Second down and 8 as the rain begins to fall here in Conway. Wide open down the sideline is Wirtz. Inside Coastal territory and inside the 30 down to the 25-yard line. And Wirtz now shooken up after the play.
Blown coverage, 50 yards. We talked about how good a football player this guy really is. They're starting to use him, and that's going to be a big part of their offense. Hopefully he stays healthy. But just nobody home. I mean, that's just the guy who's wide open because somebody forgot to cover him. And he knows what to do with the football when he catches it. Hopefully he's okay, but I really do think you're looking at one of the finer tight ends in the Sun Belt, if not the best. And hopefully they continue to use him, because you're certainly hustling backwards if you got an athlete like that and don't throw it to him.
Well, what we just saw could easily be the play of the game.
Yeah.
I mean, what a momentum changer just like that for Georgia State. First down and 10 inside the 25 with under 5 minutes now left to play. Handoff. Smith, after initial contact, able to bounce it around the outside and pick up a couple of yards. Let's watch the reaction at the end of this play.
Now that 40 time is not what it used to be, but he's still stretching it out. Look at the form. Not bad. Lifting those knees up, lifting them higher than I do.
Sean Elliott running, at least trying to run with him down the sideline.
The hardest working man on the field right there is the head coach. I love it. Now, if you're CCU, though, you're saying, no, this game's not over. If we force a long field goal, we know that the kicker is not 100%. He hasn't hit every field goal he's tried.
Second down and 8. Back to Smith. To the outside, inside the 10-yard line. What a run. So 2 huge plays. The pass play to Wirtz, and now a big run by Glenn Smith, who's slow to get up.
What a great cutback. We talked about how well he's played all night. And you could make the argument he's sneaky the most valuable player of the game, because when they needed him, he's come through.
Under 4 minutes now left to play. The clock winding down here in Coastal Carolina, and Georgia State trying to drive and perhaps put this one out of reach.
That long run there hurt. That one hurt him really bad.
First and goal. Again on the ground, pushing it up the middle, inside the 5-yard line. And now second and goal coming up for the Panthers.
I think one of the best things for CCU was that ball got to the 8 where there's no more first downs now. And so if you could just hold them for another play, or 2 plays I should say, you'll force a field goal and you still got a chance. It's going to be tight, getting 2 scores in under 3 minutes, but you still got a chance if you can force a field goal here.
Marcus Kirk, the last carry, and gets it again up the middle. Diving and into the end zone. Touchdown, Panthers. What an effort by the redshirt junior, DeMarcus Kirk.
Kirk running hard. You bring in fresh legs just for this reason. Watch him run behind his pads. Great job of will and determination to get that ball in the end zone. Gives his team a 14 or at least 13 pending extra point lead right now.
They are looking at this one again, but from that one angle we saw, it looked like he was in.
Yeah, I think the reach of the ball made the difference there, Jeff.
Looked like the ball was across before his knee hit.
He had the presence of mind to reach that ball out. Still securing it, though. Didn't fumble it.
And it has been confirmed. The touchdown stands, and here comes the extra point for the Panthers. And he missed it wide right. But still, damage has been done here to Coastal Carolina. What a drive. 8 plays, 91 yards. Remember, Tioka, this drive began all the way back at their own 9.
Yeah. I mean, that's the type of hammer offense that you want to play. We call hammer offense when a team has the lead and is trying to put the game away, I should say, with a mix of runs and play action pass. But of course, the big 50-yarder to works down the sidelines really set up the touchdown. But just a great job of play calling, great job of execution. That's how you try to finish the game off right there. Still 3 minutes left. Coastal, obviously, it's not looking good, but if they can make a couple big plays and strike quickly, remember the clock stops on all first downs. Once you get inside the 2 minutes, they won't grind the clock when the ball goes out of bounds. So it's not quite over yet. It's just looking bleak. Coastal needs to make a couple big plays, score quickly, and get an onside kick.
And Coastal's going to take a knee and quickly bring it out to the 25. Well, this game very well could be decided really by 2 plays.
Yeah. The
pass play, the long one down the right sideline to Ari Wirtz, and then that big run for the first down by Glenn Smith.
That's
right. 2 huge plays on really what could end up being a game-winning drive for the Panthers.
I agree.
So Jamie Chadwell, the interim head coach, trying to rally the troops here one more time for the Coastal Carolina offense. Again, playing a full schedule of FBS for the first time in program history, making the 2-year transition from FCS to FBS, joining the Sun Belt full-time this year. From the 25. Keene with pressure and hit back at the line of scrimmage. Good pressure from behind, just simply ran out of time, and Martirius Allen was all over him.
This is the time as a defensive lineman you love because you don't have to worry about the run. You're just pinning your ears back and going after the quarterback. It's like blood in the water for sharks.
Keene scrambles, fires complete out to the 30. Still on his feet, Malcolm Williams out near midfield. Had a couple of big plays way back in the first quarter and a big play here.
You see how explosive he is, and unfortunately they haven't been able to get him on track the way they want to, but boy, he's got some juice when he gets the ball in his hands, right?
Antrell Allen down on the field for Georgia State with 2:24 left to play. Yeah, I'm with you. I mean, there's a reason we talked about Williams and then Penny Hart on the other side for Georgia State. I mean, 2 big-time wide receivers with big playability.
Yeah, this Williams guy is electric. That's what Jamie Chadwell calls him, electric. He's a lot faster than he looks because he runs so smooth, but he runs by guys.
Well, and what a special week for Williams. He's from Shreveport, Louisiana. Was able to play in front of his friends and family last week down in Louisiana. And, of course, went off last week, 266 yards, which set a Coastal Carolina single-game record, 2nd largest single-game total in Sun Belt history. So just a special week for Malcolm Williams last week.
His 86-yard pass reception for a touchdown was the 2nd longest pass play in school history. So, I mean, this guy's going to be, when it's all said and done, his name will be all up and through the playbooks or record books for this Chanticleer offense.
Fumbled snap, they just got to throw that one away. Stop the clock. Sean Elliott wants intentional grounding. You see him saying, throw the flag.
Well, it's no way. I mean, he got the ball outside the pocket, you know, and once you get outside the tackle box, all you have to do is throw the ball beyond the line of scrimmage. And
right.
It's not intentional grounding. Coach knows that. He's just a little fired up right now.
Let's see if he has any argument here on the throwing it beyond the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, no question. I mean, that's down there by the first down marker.
3rd down and 10. Good blocking up front gives Keene time, and again fires complete over the middle. Good cutback inside the 10. And out of bounds at the 5, Chris Jones, who we did not see a whole lot in the first half. Again, he just was able to clear a concussion protocol late this week. And, you know, as he gets more healthy, this is going to be huge, obviously, for Coastal Carolina.
And why? Because you got a great receiver in Malcolm Williams. Malcolm Williams. And then you got another guy on the other side in Chris Jones. And like you said, as he gets healthy and gets his explosive and gets his conditioning back, that's a great 1-2 tandem. 45 yards on that reception right there. Coastal's got to score really quickly.
Remember the missed extra point. We'll see if that comes into play. Into the end zone. Touchdown. Larry Collins Jr., the redshirt freshman from Hopkins, South Carolina, his first catch, and it's a big one. It's back to a one-possession game.
6'1", 210 pounds, and just throws a jump ball to him. And he goes up and gets it. He wanted that football. That's the way you attack the football if you're a wide receiver. Go up and get it, two hands, no body catching, and outduel the defensive back for a big touchdown.
Well, look out here now. Still almost 2 minutes left in this one. The extra point is good, and it's now a 6-point game.
That's a big extra point because it's only now a 6-point game. Because remember, Georgia State mixed their extra point on the last possession, so getting that extra point right there was huge.
So now the big question is, I mean, what do you do here? 1:50 left to play. Do you like your defense, or do you want to go onside here?
Well, you got 3 timeouts. This is borderline. This is very borderline.
It's a tough call here.
I think you go onside kick. You know, a minute 50 seconds left. Certainly 3 timeouts. If you can really stop them, which you haven't shown an ability to do without time going off the clock. If you can stop them to 3 and 4 plays and get them out of here, obviously that's the best. The question is, can you do that?
I'm with you. If I'm your coordinator, I'm agreeing with you. I think you got to go for the onside kick here.
Yeah, I think you do.
Because if you're gonna rely on your defense, whether they get it at the 25 or they get it at the 40, I mean, you got to stop them either way.
That's right.
So why not take that chance? And I don't know if you want the ball back in the hands of Connor Manning the way he's playing today.
That's right. And you just proved it. You could take the ball 75 yards. They just drove the ball 75 yards. So if you stop them around midfield, after they get the onside kick, if they get the onside kick, you can still go 3 and out there. They punch you backed up, and you take a long drive to win it. You got all 3 timeouts, and then you'll have a minute left in the ball game.
Good call, partner. Hands team out there here for Coastal Carolina. And a whistle just before the kick and a timeout call.
Timeout, Georgia State.
So
30-second
Panthers
timeout.
want to make sure they've got everything right here before the onside kick.
It's going to be interesting to see how they play this. The best way to secure an onside kick is to have your frontline guys go up and block. Their job should not be to field the ball at all. They go up and block for your best hands guy behind them. And that's how the most effective special team coaches teach it. That way it's only one guy.
Your frontline guys, so Coastal Carolina's got all their hands guys on this side, on this near side of the field.
That's right.
So you're sending your blockers out there to take those guys out.
To create a wall, correct. And have the best hands on your team, which should be number 18, field the ball. There should be one guy who should touch this ball. The frontline players in white should avoid the ball at all costs and go block for 18. Now, I don't know their scheme, but from my experience, that's the most effective scheme in order to handle an onside kick. Now, the way they're lined up, to me, it doesn't look like they're going to go block because you see a big hole in the middle.
They're going to flip the field. Chanticleer's will. Stays on the ground. And we'll see who came up with it. And they're going to say Georgia State jumped on it.
That was close. Very close.
Well, you talked earlier. We saw a kick that was hot coming in, that Penny Hartlett bounced. That one was definitely hot. Didn't take that hop. But with the slick field, that ball's bouncing all over the place, that one was definitely coming in hot. Let's watch it again.
Yes, it was. And no, that's exactly what Georgia State did. They had a lot of guys blocking. And I'm not sure if that was the guy who was supposed to field the ball because every other front line guy blocked.
I don't know. Whoever made that catch should be playing shortstop for your Washington Nationals. That was a heck of a stop.
I couldn't get a number on him. It might have been
was it
number
Penny
10?
Hart?
I don't think it was Hart. Hart was, the ball never made it to him.
Well, whoever it was, again, tremendous hands because we've seen a light mist falling. Plus, you got this sheen, as you can see on the field.
Yeah.
And you could see the ball skipping. That's a heck of a play. So first down and 10 now for Georgia State, trying to put this one away with a 6-point lead. Back to Glenn Smith. He's out to the 40.
I wouldn't let anybody else touch the ball. I put the ball in number 17's hands and see if he can seal this victory for you.
Jave Brown? I think it's Jave Brown. It was. You're right. Number 10, Jave Brown, sophomore, who made that catch for Georgia State. One of the plays of the game, really.
That's a huge play. There's no question. Because like you said, that ball's low. It's coming in hot. Being artificial turf, not a lot of friction. That ball is moving fast. Not a lot of slowdown there. And then you add in a wetness to it. And then you add in some drama, right? and some pressure. That's a nice play by Brown.
By the way, before we run out of time, quick shout out to David Harris and everybody down in the truck. Terrific job tonight here on our ESPN broadcast. What a game. Also our thanks to Kyle Gertine doing the stats, helping us out up here in the press box. We could feel Coastal just kind of hanging around, and that's what they did here in the second half. Now Georgia State's third down coming up. Still time left though, 1:39 left to play.
Well, it's 3rd and 5. And here's the question. How much guts do you have if you're on that Georgia State sidelines? Because Travis Trickett, I'm just telling you, if he calls a bootleg, it's going to be there for him. If they fake the run to Glenn Smith and let Connor Manning run, he'll get the first down. Because right now they're going to sell out to stop the run. I wouldn't pass the ball. It'll be there if they wanted to, but I wouldn't pass.
So if you're Coastal Carolina right now, if you're their defensive coordinator, you think they're running it? You think they're going to Glenn Smith?
No question. Unless you're playing against Mike March, one of the most amazing offense coordinators who ever lived, but one of the most daring as well. Unless you're playing against Mike March, you're playing to run all day long here. So does Georgia State know that? Do they want to try? That's right. I wouldn't pass it, but I certainly would really consider running a bootleg here. Option is also an opportunity for an option play as well.
Glenn Smith in at running back, and they do give it to him, and he pushes forward for the first down. What a run by Glenn Smith. Gets just enough for the first down with 1:33 to play.
Keep it simple. I mean, like I said, I would have never taken the ball out of 17's hands and let him try to end the game for you. Great blocking up front, just man-on-man mauling. Just enough for a first down, and that should be enough for the victory.
Coastal does have one timeout left, but yeah, the math not in the Chanticleer's favor right now.
Ari Wirtz is still limping. That might be a problem as they go along. They need to keep that big fella healthy because he's a matchup problem for anybody.
Connor Manning drops to a knee, under 1 minute left to play. Scoreboard is showing one timeout left for Coastal, but
yeah, but it's academic. I mean, if he calls it, it still wouldn't be enough to keep the game alive.
So for Georgia State and Sean Elliott, their first-year head coach, smiling now.
You think he didn't earn his paycheck today?
Oh, he was working.
I mean,
all game.
I don't burn that many calories in my big-time workout. I do.
Manning to a knee just one more time, and now just seconds away is Georgia State from winning their Sun Belt Conference opener here on the road.
Won't have to run another play. That should be it.
Manning off with his helmet. Down to 1 second left, and that'll do it. The Panthers on the road here in Conway, South Carolina. Pick up the win 27-21, and they won it with their last drive of the game. 91 yards, the two big plays by Wirtz and also by Glenn Smith. What a drive to win it.
We talked about finishing, and that's what would be the conversation on the sidelines from Sean Elliott. Georgia State came out and appeared to not be in it mentally, especially early in the fourth quarter, but he got in the faces of his players. He woke them up, and they played hard at the end and finished the game off. But you know what? Shout out to CCU. They fought back. They showed a lot of resiliency to get back in this ballgame. They could have hung their head. They were down 2 scores at least the majority of the game, but they fought back and fought hard, and the ball bounced a couple different ways. It could have been a different ballgame, but the way this game started with the opening kickoff, that really set the table for Georgia State, and they were able to capitalize on that and finish the game off with a win.
I'm with you. Chanticleer's made this one interesting, getting it down to a one-possession game a couple times. But in the end, it was Georgia State going on the road and picking up a big win here in their conference opener. This game had some big plays early on, but in the end, Sean Elliott and Georgia State ends up grinding it down on their final drive, 91 yards for the touchdown and the difference. Again, congratulations. Panthers win it 27-21 for David Harris. And for Tyoka Jackson, I'm Jeff McCarriger. Thanks for watching as we say good night here from Conway, South Carolina.